And good morning and welcome to the 2023 Milburn Concrete Circuit of Ireland Rally. Wonderful introduction there, showing the progression and competitive changes in the history of such a prestigious event as the Circuit of Ireland Rally, and changes down over the years. Some great memories there. Looking forward to 8 stages today, but first of all let me introduce my co-host for today. Patterson Pace Notes is well known and the UK's leading pace note supplier, but also connected to the history of rally news with Brian and Liz Patterson, frequently seen in many Circuit of Ireland. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Michael Patterson. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, happy Easter.
And to you. I stayed off the chocolate, so I won't be hyper today, which will be good. But a great introduction there, showing the competitive changing nature of a prestigious event such as the Circuit of Ireland.
It still has the name, it still has the kudos. Okay, this year we're exceptional circumstances. Cookstown Motor Club have taken over the running of the event.
Yeah.
I think we're so privileged to have an event, and what they're actually dished up for us today potentially is going to be another classic. People are thinking, oh my goodness, it's only a one-day rally. This is as big a challenge today as anything we've faced this year. It really is very hard to put into words just what the drivers are going to face today.
I have to be honest and say that I think some people leading up this week are looking at the Circuit of Ireland with rose-tinted spectacles, really. I mean, we only had 2 stages to choose from last year, and goodness me, what an event we had, and the change going into the last stage, the battle between Alistair Fisher and Josh Moffat. You know, with 2 stages last year, we've got 8 stages this year. Or 4 stages done twice, so 4 times the amount.
Yeah.
I think we're in for a great event.
I think it's one of the things I should stress is just the challenge that the stages are going to play out today. The difference in the terrain, the difference in the nature of the stages. 4 different stages, they couldn't be more different. The first stage, really, really fast. Very slippy, very, very tricky, could catch somebody out.
Yeah.
Second stage, terrain changes into, you're right up into the Sperrins, very, very fast moorland. Then they go to service, we go off and we do stage 3, a classic stage. The only one that's probably been a bit familiar to people, it's been used before on the Tyrone stages, and of course these are effectively Bob McKeown, Wayne Turkington, the guys behind running the rally today. Would be the guys behind running the Tyrone stages. So it's a classic stage. And then we move across towards Pomeroy to what I would call would be pretty much an old road rally stage. And apparently it ran on the Circuit of Ireland in the 1970s. To me, it'll be the sting in the tail today. Very, very tricky, narrow, fast, deceptive corners that tighten, curbs, everything. So the rally today, we really are potentially in for a big treat.
Well, 8 stages, totaling 70 stage mile, total mileage including road sections about 186 miles, and of course this year's championship is brought to you by Samdec, which is a Sentinel Group company. Megavoy Motorsport sponsors the modified section of the championship this year, and Synergy Motorsport Engineering are sponsors of the historic, with Paul Brown Plant Iron Civil Engineering sponsoring the juniors. 3rd round for most competitors, 4th round for the historics. Of course, they began back in Killarney.
And the modifieds, I think, isn't it?
Some of them, yeah. So we've had a really good Galway, challenging conditions there. We had a great West Cork, where again the weather played a part, and of course Robert Barrable played a blinder.
He's coming on form, isn't he? I mean, I think the man of the moment, we can't just look past him, is Josh. He's on the crest of a wave. Top 10, here we go. Where obviously Josh, West Cork won again last week on the Irish National Championship.
Circuit of Kerry,
Circuit of Kerry, and won by, seemed to be at a canter, to be honest. But I think because there's so much variation in today's stages, there'll be stages where one driver will look like he's got an advantage, and then they'll go to the next stage and another driver will seem to have an advantage. So we look at the Josh and running first in the road today, Marion, our Galway rally winner, and who he fell away a wee bit in West Cork towards the end after leading early on.
He did a wee bit, but what the thing about him is he plods and gets points. Plods on and gets points,
He also knows how to upset the apple cart. He's quick off the blocks, so expect Marion to be very quick over the first couple of stages. Callum, he showed great race he had in the Circuit of Kerry. Struggling a bit for pace in West Cork. Seems to have found his mojo again.
Yeah, interesting to see a couple of car changes. I noticed Declan Boyle was out in Kerry in a Citroen, and that his Fiesta World Rally car's up for sale. I was looking at the graphic there, working off the top 10. But I mean, interesting to see the only Ford in the top 10 is that of Gary Jennings, and Gary has said that he's quite happy with the Ford. He's moved to the Fiesta, the Mark II version, and converted to right-hand drive. I think Jason Craig in the Belfast Telegraph had picked up on the fact that Gary may not get a chance to test, but the thing about Gary Jennings, we saw in the older version, consistent, and when he's enjoying an event, his times flow.
He's a former works Peugeot driver. You don't get to that level if you're not good.
No, I totally agree. So, I mean, as you said, there's 8 stages ahead today. We're going shortly to the quick in-service, and we hope with Tony Kelly to catch up with a couple of the crews. The forecast today is good. There is rain, a little bit of rain forecast for later on, which could make it interesting.
I was talking to a couple of the competitors last night after the recce, and I said, how dry were the stages? And one of them said, fundamentally they're dry, but there's still water running across the road. It's been so damp over the last sort of couple of weeks. Yeah. There's still a bit of water running across, but fundamentally dry. The first stage is probably the trickiest when it comes to the surface. It's past a couple of quarries, concrete quarries. You would know a bit about that.
Yeah, I would,
so the road's polished. The first stage, they've moved the start ever so slightly. So if anybody's watching and they thought they would go to the start of the first stage, it's moved about a mile up the road, basically to the first junction 2. That's just, there was a few issues yesterday and the organisers made the decision early yesterday morning to do that.
I think we're ready to go to service. We'll catch up with Tony.
So we're going to talk to a couple of the drivers here. You can see Josh is just checking tyres, so we're going to make our way over to Josh now and get a quick word with him and just see how he's set for the day's rallying ahead. You just let him finish this one. And we're just going to get the photographers get their few pictures as well. Can we grab you for a quick word before you get started?
Yeah.
A busy day's driving ahead of you.
Yeah, there's 8 long stages today, so and a lot of different conditions and different types of roads there. So yeah, look, it's going to be interesting.
You're on a brilliant winning streak already this year. How are you feeling?
Yeah, we're feeling good. Yeah, I suppose it's been a pretty good start to the year, so hopefully we can continue it here.
Do you feel any pressure with that today, or are you just happy to just get into the car and head straight for the road?
Yeah, well, I suppose there maybe is a bit, but yeah, for me, just get in and do what I enjoy. So.
And what do you think of the stages? Obviously, they haven't been used in a long time, so it's one of those things where everybody's really on a level playing field here today.
Yeah, which is certainly good. First 3 is nice and flowing, and then the fourth one gets very technical and a lot tighter. So yeah, good variation, and it'll make it interesting.
Brilliant. And tyre choices should be simple enough today?
Yeah, fairly straightforward. I think the weather's going to stay good, hopefully. Hopefully it stays that way.
Good man, we'll let you get back to it, Josh. Thank you very much for stopping with us. We can see Marion Evans here just over the shoulder. Marion, you've had a very steady year. Like, you started off brilliantly in Galway, started off brilliantly in West Cork, and then obviously with the weather conditions and everything else, it got a bit tricky for everybody. Yeah. But I mean, a brilliant day's rallying ahead of you today.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, stages look pretty good, to be honest. It's pretty different from the first 2 rounds, really. There's a lot of driving up here, so very committed first stage, and then they kind of gradually get more technical. So I'm looking forward to it.
And any of the stages in particular that you're looking forward to?
The third one is very nice, but that's like nice road, country roads kind of thing. But yeah, from the recce, I kind of like the second 2, but we'll see. I mean, when you're driving at speed, it's always different.
I mean, the recce would have been very interesting because it's one of those things where these stages haven't been used in a long time, so everybody, as they say, is on a level playing field here, but writing the notes to that is very tricky too.
Yeah, I mean, it helps a bit, I think the guys local have a bit more of a knowledge than we will, but that's kind of the case with every round out here for us, but it's I feel like we've got a good recce anyway, so that's all we can do.
Brilliant. And what's your plan of attack when you leave here this morning? Now, how do you get your head ready for the first stage?
Same as always. I always feel a lot more settled once I get in the car and start thinking about what we're doing, so if we can do that, we'll be away.
This is probably the horrible part here, is it? Standing around waiting?
Yeah, it's always the worst. It's always, and to be fair, in the south, you've got to park firmly straight into service and everything, and it's a bit, everything's kind of happens, but here we're waiting a bit just to start, but once we get going, we'll be away, hopefully.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much,
you.
Mary, and best of luck for the weekend. And you can see Jonathan Jackson getting everything ready there as well. We're going to see if we can get a quick word with Callum Devine here. He's sitting in, relaxing himself this morning. Callum, you're very, very relaxed there this morning. Are you excited for your day's rallying?
Oh, I'm excited, Tony. So I'm excited and a little bit nervous. Sure, you know yourself the way it is. So
that's what I was just saying to Marion. Like, sitting in here now can actually be the world's worst, really.
It's as I say, you try and get as relaxed as you can, but you're trying to stay in between and being relaxed and trying to get the adrenaline built up here to get at it. So yeah, it's just in between, isn't it?
It is, surely. And you obviously had a brilliant weekend last weekend, so you'll be ready to leave here today now, chomping at the bit.
That's it. We need a good result here to be fair this weekend. Like Josh is starting to get on the roll there. Marian's going hard there too and stuff. So there's a lot of guys going hard there actually. So we'll see after the first one, as I say. Try and get ourselves bedded in, but the tricky wee stages. So there are a lot of at the different terrain up here, and there's a lot of dust and dirt on the stages. So we'll see how we are.
Good man, Callum. We'll let you go. We can hear another few engines starting. So I'd say it's Callum's time to go. But as you can see, trying to relax as much as he can and get himself ready to rock, because it is a tricky one. Johnny, wee bit of noise here this morning. There must be a rally on.
Must be. A couple of people in the same place as last time in West Cork, so must be something going to happen.
Come here, are you looking forward to? What do you think of the stages?
The stages are good. Probably the second loop has probably got a bit more in it than these first two. These first two are very fast over the top of moorland sort of stuff, so it's going to be very high speed from the off, so it'll be a challenge to get up the speed quick enough, but I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. Weather looks like it's going to stay dry too, so hopefully it'll be a good day for everybody.
And you obviously go well up this neck of the woods, but also you've been having a brilliant year, so you should be sort of hoping to be very, very on the top of the limit today.
Yeah, we're hoping to be thereabouts if we can, try and stay with the guys over the first couple of stages. I know our problem has always been slow starting, so we're going to try, but it's going to be so competitive again, like West Cork. It was, especially on the Sunday, it was really competitive, so everyone's going to be quite close, so hopefully we'll be in the mix at the end of the first loop.
And I mean, how do you find that? Because sometimes you can get things. We're getting the word from Niall Burns that it's time to go, Johnny, so we're going to let you head on. So that is Johnny Greer, and we're going to get a quick word now with Sam Moffat. And then we're going to try and get a quick word with Bobby Willis. I saw him about here this morning somewhere. Sam, how are you feeling this morning? A lovely day, stages ahead.
Yeah, feeling good. Not nervous or anything, so that's good. And just looking to get into it now. Tricky stages, so we'll see how it goes.
You were saying in West Cork that you were kind of trying to figure out what was going on. Have you figured that out in between times, and you're sort of chomping at the bit now and ready to go, do you think?
Not sure. We'll see after the morning stages. Hopefully we've got the tyre choice right here, and look at the stages, will tell the truth, I suppose.
The stages are going to be very interesting this weekend because they haven't been used in a long time, so that should kind of be a very level playing field.
Yeah, there'll be a level playing field. I think they're tough. There's the fourth stage now is exceptionally tough, so plenty of challenges ahead.
Good man. Well, come here. We look forward to seeing you in service. Thanks a million, Sam. We'll let you go. And we are going to try and get a quick word. We'll go Robert Barrable next, and then we'll try and get Gary Jennings. Can't see Bobby Willis anywhere now. Robert, you had an absolutely excellent Sunday in West Cork. Yeah. You must be dying to get back out on the road here this morning.
Hopefully we can start off where we finished off in West Cork and bring the pace forward, but it was a totally different terrain. Conditions are going to be a lot different. We would have a fair knowledge of them stages on the Sunday in West Cork, whereas this rally we don't have as much of a knowledge, so we'll hamper a little bit maybe in that, but listen, we've done a good recce, we've had a good test, and we're ready to go.
Do you feel like the fact that the stages haven't been used in a long time, sort of nobody has any major experience on them over the last couple of years, is that going to help the thing at all?
I think the knowledge does help, but if you drive to the pace notes you make, I think that's really kind of where it's at now. Like, it's not a matter of having knowledge. Okay, knowledge helps, but realistically it's down to the pace note. If you drive to your pace note and the speed that we're all at now, I think that's what it's down to, first run and go from there. Like.
Brilliant. Well, listen, best of luck for the day. We'll see you in service. Thanks very much, Robert. So we'll get a quick word now with Gary Jennings, if we can. Gary, you don't love to see us coming, but sure, we love to chat. How are you feeling this morning? It's been a wee while since you were out.
Yeah, a bit nervous, but looking forward to getting this new car and see how it goes. But yeah, it'll be challenging first couple of stages, but looking forward to it.
This is a rally that you've kind of gone, you've gone well in all rallies, but this is a rally that sort of would be close to the heart up here the last couple of years, and with a new car, very exciting to get out on these new stages as well.
Yeah, we'll go with my main sponsors from Cookstown and sell your car to Jacks as well, so that's why we definitely had to get the new car ready for it here, so that's why we're here. But yeah, the new car, it feels a lot different. Just saying, there's nearly 80 kilos lighter than the old car, which is 4 bags of coal in the back seats, so that's a big difference. And power, definitely is more power, but it doesn't really like bumps yet, but I'm sure we'll get it sorted. But it might take a service or two to get the bumps sorted, and there's a lot of bumps in this rally, and I just don't want to put it off into the field, so maybe this first two we'll try and see what it does and then maybe make some adjustments. But hey, I'm looking forward to it. I think these cars are very underrated. I think Ryan Loughlin's in one as well, and he'll go very hard here. He's from the town and he's seen the way back, so if we can get some of his information, maybe I get some of his, we can hopefully do something in the second or third loop. And
it's everybody's talking about the pace in the top 10, the top 20 this year. Like, it is massively intense. It's an incredible feat for the Irish Tarmac Championship, but it's definitely one that just you cannot rest, really.
No, without a doubt. It used to be top 5 in internationals, then top 10. I think you're right, it goes back to the top 20 now. I think if we can hold on to the top 10 in the first loop, we're doing very well. People behind are exceptional drivers and exceptional machinery now. So look at the machinery in the top 30. You'll get it nowhere else probably in the world at the minute. So, and all the different range of cars. Like, a lot of people just changing cars now, like for the fun of it. So, I think if a good result comes in a Citroen, everybody wants a Citroen. If it comes in a Volkswagen, everybody wants a Volkswagen. So yeah, everybody's chopping and changing, but it's getting that last wee millisecond, and that's what everybody's looking for now. Exactly. The drivers are all capable of it. It's just putting a driver into the car and getting that extra bit.
It's everything going right on the day, isn't it?
Correct, and it's tyre choice. I know today's very dry at the minute, but it's not warm.
No.
So we went on a softer tyre, some went on a harder tyre, and then slight differences can make the difference in time. And it might dry up now the next hour, and the hard tyre could be better. It's just that I know it's going to be dry, but it's just the temperature's just not up to temp yet.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's all very interesting. Very typical rally morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Typical Tyrone for Monday morning. Low clouds. Good to see so many people about. I think the organisers have made a great rally out of these 4 stages. Very challenging. I was just talking to people there. I'm glad I didn't go to West Cork, because if you come here in a West Cork setting, you're over the ditch in the first couple of miles. So yeah, for these boys done West Cork's their last rally. It's definitely going to be a challenge going into the bumpy Tyrone stages.
A very different setup.
Without a doubt. The setting we got from M Sport last night, on Thursday when the car went out, we've raised the car 30 mil. 30 mil is a lot.
Yeah.
If any of these boys have come here in the West Cork setting, they're in for trouble.
Gary, thank you very much. That was brilliant insight. And there we go, guys. It's one of those things where the stages mean everything, don't they? We've Bobby Willis here. Bobby, again, another man that loves to see us coming. Bobby, you'll be delighted to be standing here at the start of the Circuit of Ireland.
Absolutely delighted, yeah.
Brilliant weather, brilliant stages.
Isn't that great? I don't know the stages, I haven't seen them, but I believe the weather's going to be good. So
the weather's going to be good, and I believe the crowds are already out there.
Either it'd be perfect today then. The weather always brings the crowds. So
I know, and it's hard to beat on an Easter weekend, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Brilliant, Bobby. Thanks for talking to us. We're going to get a quick word with Jason Mitchell here now as well, if we can. Sorry, Jason. As soon as you get into the car, we come after you. How are you feeling this morning?
Look, I go out now and get through these first 2, Tony, and see where we are, and we'll give her the licks then, hopefully.
I mean, this is an event that you went very well on last year. You'll be dying to do the same this year.
Well, look, we've went back down the ladder a bit here, Tony, and we're going to start building this yoke, and hopefully we can start improving maybe in the next rally or 2.
Brilliant, Jason. Thank you very much. That's Jason Mitchell. So we're going to head down through the field now and get another few drivers. I could be walking past people here now, folks. I'm shocking. Once there's a lot of rallies, it's about I miss everybody. We're going to get a quick word with Niall Henry here if we can. Niall, Niall, how's everything going for you? You all set for a good day's rallying?
Yeah, conditions are going to be nice by the look of things. Now I wrecked it last weekend and to be fair, I got quite a dump recce, so it's changed probably quite dramatically from then. But hopefully I can trust the information I've got and just judge it. It's quite a good rally. You can see a lot of what's going on in front of you. There's no real surprises. So no, here I'll just go out and do my own thing. You're out with the hot shots today, so I'm not obviously concerned with them boys. So just do my own thing and try and get back here later on.
Car feeling good and everything, yeah?
Yeah. Actually, me and Barney haven't done a rally from the Ulster, so we went to run there the other day now. So no, everyone's positive. So let's do what we can do.
Good man, Niall. Thank you very much. Best of luck for the day. We'll make our way over this side now and see if we can get a quick word. That's Camilla's Bradley past us. So we're going to see if we can get William Crichton now.
Sorry.
Alan Harriman, how are you?
Good. I heard it took 25% off.
I keep interrupting conversations this morning, William. How's everything looking for you this morning?
Yeah, good. Weather's better than we had in West Cork, so looking forward to it. It's going to be quite a tricky rally, quite narrow and generally quite bumpy, so proper Irish rally.
A proper Irish rally and Easter weekend. I mean, the Circuit of Ireland's very special to us all.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably, to be honest, one of my first memories going to the circuit with my dad whenever he was doing that more regularly. So yeah, it's nice to be out over the Easter weekend.
And obviously a very important weekend for you to get prepared for Croatia.
Yeah, definitely. That's sort of the main reason why we're here, just to do a recce and get a full day's rallying in the car. It'll hopefully set us up well for Croatia.
And how are you feeling about Croatia in general? I mean, you've been there a few times. It's quite a young rally, but you've been there a few times, and it's one of those things where you can, have an idea of what you're heading into. Do these stages match up?
There are some similarities. It's a tarmac rally at the end of the day, so over in Croatia the road's probably smoother, and even in the dry it's quite slippy, so it's a really difficult rally. And I was saying earlier that we've put a lot of prep in and we'd like to try and get it right this time, so looking forward to it. Looking forward to competing in another WRC round in general.
Brilliant, good man. William, best of luck for today. We're going to move on down the field and get a wee chat with everybody else. So that's William Crichton, and as you can see here now we have Frank Kelly coming up towards us, so we'll get a quick word with him if we can figure out where he's actually stopping here. So we'll get a quick word and see what Frank Kelly has to say to us. Frank, a great rally to be heading into today. Some fantastic stages ahead of you.
There are absolutely fantastic stages. I couldn't believe it. I was smiling my face the whole day yesterday in the recce. Now the bulletin this morning that they're putting dumper tyres out as chicanes is not brilliant news, but we'll have to just be careful because that's dangerous. But fantastic stages. I think we'll be in the air more on the ground. It's like Finland and tarmac, and you've heard that said before, but this is truly Finland and tarmac. It's unbelievable.
And I mean, the crack then obviously is great in the Mark II.
Well, I like flying. I'm just not that good at landing. Tyre wear should be minimum. I'm really looking forward to it. Apprehensive a bit because it's quite local to me, only 30 minutes from home, and it feels strange having slept in your own bed the night before the rally. But mad to get at it.
Do you find a pressure in that the closer to home it is, Frank?
Not so much. I enjoy the run home when it's been a good day, and when it's been a bad day it's a long run home, but it'll be nice to get back in my own bed this evening, hopefully, and not a hospital bed.
Well, fingers crossed, we'll be hoping for that.
Aye, and not a feed through a straw.
Well, look, you always have to be lighthearted, Frank. Thank you very much. Frank, thanks a million. We're going to get another. As you can see, the line's getting pretty long here, so we've a lot of people to get through down here. And it's just fantastic to be talking to everybody this morning because everybody's in such good form and really excited with the dry day and heading to more stages. So we'll get over here now for a quick word with we'll get a quick word with Eddie Doherty. Good morning.
Morning.
All ready for a lovely day's rallying?
Yes, first dry one of the year, so I think everyone's smiling here like this morning, but look, they're completely different from what we're used to. There's bumps and crests and jumps and everything, so look, we just want championship points here, and then head for the big one in Killarney then in 3 weeks' time. So
it is a bit of a tough we were just talking to Gary Jennings there about how different the stages are, and it is a wee bit of a tough adjustment to make whenever you're used to the kind of the wider, kind of flatter, less tricky stages of Northern Ireland, but they are really technical and fun to drive.
Yeah, definitely technical. That fourth one, I don't think you'd see it anywhere else in the country. There's everyone, there's crests, there's bumps, there's straights there down south, and you have 3 chicanes in them, and there's no chicane whatsoever. So in these class 14 yokes, they are going to be fun.
And obviously, we were just chatting to Frank Kelly there too. Like, obviously, you know, when you're in a rally car, you're working hard regardless. But the Mark IIs, like, to get around all these corners and jumps and bumps, like, it's intense.
Yeah, the jumps and bumps are going to be tight for us. But I'd say in an R5 there's going to be a lot of wing spot as well, because there's a lot of tight stuff in there, and I wouldn't like to be getting an R5 down through them as well. So, but no, looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Any stage in particular?
Third one is like home, so I'll go with that one.
Good man. Eddie, thanks a million for talking to us. And we're just after, I'm after missing Adrian Hetherington here actually, so I'm after spotting him over the corner of my shoulder here. And the door's opening. Adrian, can we get a quick word? You'll be looking forward to this today.
I don't know, I might be a bit apprehensive. I'd like to get the first stage over me anyway, see how I go, you know.
Do you feel sort of at home here, or do you feel like it doesn't matter where you are in the country when you're rallying, it just, a stage is a stage?
I feel as if I'm way in the middle of Cork or somewhere. Especially when I hit some of them stages. Even though they're close to home, I don't really, there's a lot of the roads I have never been on, you know.
Yeah. And we were chatting to Frank Kelly there too, and he was saying that, you know, he would nearly even feel a bit more pressure whenever he gets to sleep in his own bed before a rally. Do you feel the same, or do you kind of, a stage is a stage?
No, I like to be at home now. It's nice to get up at home, in your usual routine, you know. You're not in a hotel and having to get through this false routine now.
And in terms of the stages, you obviously did the recce and stuff. How's the head for them? You know, is there any stage that you're looking forward to in particular, or are they just all?
I'd say the stage that's closest to my house is the one I'm not looking forward to.
Right.
Because, as I say, it's very tricky, and there's an awful lot of roads I didn't even know existed, you know.
Right. And how does that happen, where there's roads so close to your house that you don't know existed?
I don't know. I couldn't even figure out where to start. How do we get into the start of the first stage? Never mind talk about anything else. You know, I don't know how it is. I probably know the exit Knockalla and places like that a lot better.
And the car's feeling good?
Car's good. But I haven't been in it since September, so it's a bit of baptism of fire, like, you know.
That's a long time, to be fair, isn't it?
It is. I am driving BDA since that, like, and there's no comparison. No comparison to this here, like.
And I mean, the Circuit of Ireland, I've mentioned it a few times already, but it's very, very special to people.
It is.
So to be jumping in here,
it has the name now.
And to be jumping in here now after not being in the car in September, like, it's one of those that could play on your mind. No.
The first stage is going to be tough, you know, and it's going to be in the back of your mind. You're always thinking around every corner, I can't chance this or I can't chance that, but in the back of your mind, you know that the guy behind you or the guy in front of you is chancing it, you know. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get a time.
Exactly. Well, fingers crossed we'll see you back in service and you'll have a great day's rallying, so we'll get through the day and enjoy it.
Well, we'll get through these first two anyhow. We'll take two at a time.
Good man, thank you very much. Guys, we're going to get a few more here if we can. Definitely we have time for one more, but I think you have to head to the stages then, so bear with me here now and we'll get a wee bit further down the field. And we'll see who's here for a wee conversation with us. People can be camera shy, but I think as well when you're in Parc Fermé, there's definitely a huge kind of nervous energy about, excited as well, but it's great to get chatting to people this early on in the day and see if people are ready to go. You know, I'm on the wrong side. We'll get a quick word here now. This is car number 35. No, I wasn't on the wrong side. Guys, I'm losing my mind this morning.
Right hand driver,
Absolutely losing my mind. I mean, nobody would need to be as slow as me out this morning, would they?
No, definitely not. No, we might beat, you know.
How are you feeling this morning? Everything all set? You happy enough?
I'm grand. It's been a good while since we're out. So we weren't out since Donegal last year. So
we were just chatting to Adrian Hetherington about that, actually, how it can actually be quite tricky to sort of get your head really switched on you know, more in the prep for the event, but whenever you sit into the car, it all feels like
it doesn't be simple now, but we've nothing to prove, so we'll tap about, try and get it built up again a bit and ready for Donegal again.
Any stages in particular you're looking forward to?
No, I like them all, you know. They're tricky stages, but enjoyable. I like them now, so.
And it's a long day, like very intense sort of a day, like.
Long day, all long day, surely. So we'll see how it goes. We get through the first third, hopefully, and see from there.
Good man. Listen, thank you very much for taking the time. Whenever I finally figured out which side of the car we were actually working with. Guys, this is it for Parc Fermé. You're going to head to the stages now. But as you can see, there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot of energy going around this morning. And I mean, more importantly, the weather's nice and dry, so it should be a very, very fun morning. We're going to pass along back to the studio and into the stages, but we will see you for the first round of services in a few hours' time.
So back with us in the studio here, really good catch up with Tony and some of the competitors. And the striking thing for me, Michael, is we know that top 20, top 25, very competent drivers, very skilled, talented, but they have, I'm not saying they have concerns, but they certainly have what you were saying earlier about the opening 2 stages, they're certainly very wary over the first couple of stages. Gary Jennings pointing out that anybody that's come with West Cork settings is going to have fun. They raised the right height 30mm last night. Frank Kelly saying it's like Finland on tarmac. So it's going to be really a challenge.
I think it's this difference in terrain that you get from one stage to the next stage. And Frank, I have to agree with what Frank says. I also really interested in what Gary Jennings was saying. Gary's saying anybody comes here with West Cork settings, they're on. You're going off the road on the first corner.
Yeah.
I think that it's this. William Crichton said, you know, Croatia would be a lot smoother. Well, actually, ironically, the first sort of 6 or 7 miles of the very first stage is actually very, very smooth. A lot of it's been resurfaced recently, and it's a really, really smooth tar with no really can't cut on it. If you do cut where there's cuts, it's going to pull mud and dampness onto the road. Talking to a few people last night, and some of them be fairly experienced, and they're like, yeah, there are just 1 or 2 places. It's not everywhere, but there are 1 or 2 places where you'll get mud pulled onto the road, and the very smooth tarmac means that there'll be a lack of grip. I'm surprised at Frank. So Wolf's Hill now, obviously I mentioned earlier on that the stage has been shortened ever so slightly, so it's now exactly 8 miles, Zav, as opposed to 9.03, which means that we're probably looking at a stage time of about 6.5 minutes. This is the north part of the stage is where the start is, the finish in the south. Loch Fay, if anybody's familiar with County Tyrone, the middle of the stage is around the back of Dava Forest. And then we're starting to get into the moorland of the eastern part of the Sperrins. You can see it's very straight in places, so there's quite a few speed reduction measures. Quite a few of the junctions are tightened. So I think there's a really good, like the Citroen, for instance, will have an advantage over the Polos. If the Polos are on the shorter drive, the Citroen should be, it has a slightly higher top speed. In between the junctions, they will be flat out. They'll be on the rev limiter. So you were saying about William Crichton could be really, really good. I think here, the first 2 stages, William's car's not going to suit the stages. I think even a couple of the Mark IIs could go very well because they've got
the higher gear.
Yeah. So it'll be, but this is the first thing I have to stress in all the years. I only remember doing a stage where this first stage is once, and it was about 20 years ago. Macrofelt Motor Club ran a rally, a single stage rally. Philip Shaw, who used to be a really quick Mark II man, was the clerk of the course, and it was the only time I've ever rallied on this side of Dava. The Ulster Rally and the circuit have used a Dava stage, but it's further west.
Yeah.
So this is to the east of Dava Forest, which of course has become a really big sort of cycling place and one of our Northern Ireland's dark skies spots. You can go there and get a glamp, a pod, and spend the night looking at the stars if that's what tickles your fancy. But
to me, glamp is just like lying in your back garden, so I'll pass on that. But of course, if you've been with us through the start of the season, today's cars will run at minute intervals. And of course, as opposed to what you've been used to with 30-second intervals. And of course, as Chris Boyd has pointed out, and we were talking about it in the studio here while we were listening to Tony, dumper truck tyres as opposed to bales, Michael.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that there's a couple of big quarries up on this first stage, and it's actually only the first stage today where there's really any sort of amount of chicanes. That there's a couple of places later on in the day, but they're there for safety and stuff. Junctions being tightened up. Yeah, you don't want to be hitting dumper truck tires. They're immovable.
Yeah, they're a heavy unit, I'll tell you, and if there's 3 or 4 stacked on top, that's a fairly heavy. So we're just cutting across now to live pictures from stage 1. I can tell you that the leading crews are now making their way from service up towards the start of stage 1.
Well, we know that Josh is actually at the arrival control. Due to start at 21 minutes past. We're not far away from that at the moment. Josh leading the championship, first on the road, and probably rightly so. Finished second on this rally last year after a titanic battle with Alistair Fisher. So Alistair's not really coming out to play this year. I think will be very, very interesting to see. I think probably 2 Volkswagens, the Hyundai. Johnny Greer and the Citroen. Is Johnny the dark horse here today, Tav? What do you think? Or is it bearable?
No, if I was picking a dark horse here, I'd be tempted to be a toss-up for me between Robert Barrable and Gary Jennings. I know Gary's in a brand new Mark II version, but as you were saying earlier, you don't get to become a works driver for no reason, and he would have a level of skills that maybe not everybody else has.
He's a very natural driver. He has been driving the Fiesta now for a couple of years. This is a new car for sure, but it's effectively an upgrade. Did he say 80 kilos lighter? Did I get that right?
No, he said 4 bags of coal.
4 bags of coal, yeah.
Which I thought was, bearing in mind the business that he's in terms of fuel and heating, was a great description. But when you think about it, you know, 420 bags of coal, 20 kilo bags, that's a significant weight saving, and that's why I've sort of he'd be a dark horse. He's going to find the car feeling quicker, and through the seat of his pants will possibly get dialed into it much quicker.
I agree.
He's got settings that have come through from Ford. There's different. I know that you can speak to M Sport. They'll send you a software file for different map, different setting. You download it and change the engine management on the car. And of course, you know, we don't have comedians per se in Irish rallying, but quite a cute way of looking at reality when Frank Kelly said it'll be nice if he goes home to his own bed instead of a hospital bed. So, you know, you can tell from Tony talking to them, they just can't wait to get at it. They just want to get going.
It's a really good indication of this hunger that these rally drivers have for something new. None of them have done any of these stages before. 1 or 2 of them might have done what's going to be the 3rd stage today on the Tyrone stages, but that's it. They've never done any of these stages. Getting new stages is such a breath of fresh air. Yeah, sure, they love West Cork, they love the ring stage, they love Donegal, love Killarney, but they also love getting something new.
Yeah,
it's not a conflict, it's just they love getting something new.
Again, you know, I see in various places sort of organisers getting hammered. Having been involved, as I've said on previous live streams of ours, having been heavily involved in the organisation of Rally Sunseeker and some of the BRC stuff, you know, the work that goes into a rally is unreal. And to mark that point, we recently moved into the month of April. I can tell you for a fact, last month in March, 2 or 3 times I've seen a car go past our house where I live in South Down, and a couple of people in it getting out, having a look, writing stuff in notebooks. And it's my guess that that stage is for the Ulster Rally in August. So motor clubs are working 6 months in advance. They work extremely hard, and I don't think sometimes organisers, marshals, medics, rescue crews get the credit they deserve. So if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be in the studio and everybody out there wouldn't be watching.
Well, I agree, and just to give you an indication, the first week of January this year, when the decision was made by the UAC to hand over the running of this event to Cookstown Motor Club, the committee in Cookstown Motor Club called me and said, could you come and give us a hand here just to have a look at the technical side of things that I would advise them on. And that was the first week of January. Now, I have no idea why this has happened, but I think it's a really good thing that to get an event, Cookstown Motor Club have taken over, and effectively Cookstown Motor Club had a rally on the shelf ready to go.
Yeah.
And they were able to say, look, we've got a lot of this done. We just need to knock the rough edges off
tweak
effectively and bolt it all together. So yeah, but when you look something like the Roger Albert Clark, which is in November, the entries opened 6 or 7 weeks ago and they're full. The event is progressing, but pretty much they have the rally planned. They have to.
Yeah, it's funny, we've had the conversation about, the Circuit of Ireland being a 5-day marathon, and the only rally that's compatible to that is the Roger Albert Clark. But the Roger Albert Clark now in 2023 is, what is it, £5,000 plus entry fee. And when you add in the costs, they're all historic cars, yes. Listen, a modern R5 car will not last 5 days in a row. If you look at
no, they're not designed.
No, and because if you speak to some of the teams like Derek McGeehan or McKinstry Motorsport, or you go and look at rally cars for sale, and you'll see diffs have done 200 kilometres on a car for sale.
Yep.
Engine has done 600 kilometres. Well, that's only 350 miles. The maintenance levels in terms of stage kilometres or stage mileage are so low that they need to be refurbished that often, so it's not feasible. But as I say, good to see Nigel Evans is on with us this morning. Chris Boyd in the Isle of Man, some of the best stages in the world in the Isle of Man, alongside ourselves over here. Alan Redstone's keeping an eye on us. Kevin O'Driscoll, who was a great help to us in West Cork, as we see Josh Moffat.
On the rev limiter, as predicted. Really interesting there, Zav. You see the dust. This is the quarry dust that we, if it gets damp at all, or if there's a damp patch on the road, we didn't talk about it earlier, but when Tony was in the service area, we could see the cuts on the tyres.
Yes, we could. So obviously they're expecting the one on advantage to cut in and get turned in. But this is a great example of what you're saying, Michael, about being so quick, and the drivers themselves saying the first 2 stages are very, very fast.
Yep.
So obviously, as we said earlier, 1 minute intervals into sight now. Marion Evans and Jonathan Jackson in the Melvin Evans prepared Polo R5.
Birdie tells me that there's another Polo has been acquired in the Melvin Evans camp, and Melvin's going to take it out himself and have another go at Clacton Rally in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the inaugural winner of Clacton was Melvin Evans.
Indeed, yes.
A very popular rally and a very well subscribed rally by competitors. Of course, we covered live stream last year, and 2 live promenade seafront stages as well.
So we're less than a mile into the stage here, or just about a mile into the stage, Sav, just so you know. This is the first proper junction with this revised start. They've done a couple of chicanes, so just taking a guess at the times, it's a bit too early in the stage to be judgmental.
Callum Devine. If you like artificial hairpin, it's either a large dumper tire or a large roll of conveyor belt that you see screening machines use, and I can tell you from experience, you don't shift that stuff. That is fairly heavy.
So it'll be a few minutes yet before we get results this morning. Results this weekend is being brought to us by rallyscore.net. Paddy McCollum, who looks after most of the events in Northern Ireland. This event running under Motorsport UK as opposed to Motorsport Ireland, though Motorsport Ireland do have people on the rally. They good cooperation between the 2 governing bodies this weekend. Next car up should be Johnny Greer. I think Johnny has a good chance this weekend. Citroen's a good car.
through and away. If you know the area, Josh Moffat is now making his way around the back of the quarry, down from the forest that Michael was talking about. So he's about halfway through the stage at the moment. The other leading crews are, I can see Sam Moffat, Desi Henry, Gareth McHale, Jason Mitchell, all getting ready to start the stage.
Next up should be Sam Moffat. So we do have the luxury of having the tracking this weekend, and at this point we have a potential either tracking failure with car 1, Josh on the brakes. Josh in the latest model Hyundai, or sorry, Sam in the latest model Hyundai. Cahan McCourt. Cahan didn't have a great West Cork Sav, did he?
He didn't, and I know he
had a great Galway.
He did. I know, and he's still waiting on a new car coming through as well.
Yes,
so
he's one of these customers that are waiting for the new.
Yeah, there's a few of them have paid for. That's why he was using the next Monte Carlo car. He's somebody, Michael, that we've said is it's only a matter of time before he stands on top of the podium.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's proved in the forestry. He's the current forestry champion, or certainly a couple of years ago. Don't want to do Paddy O'Brien any disservice. Sorry, Patrick. On the tarmac rallies, look, when you start setting fastest times, that's it. You're on your way. You just need to do it on every stage. And as he builds up, as the rallies come and go, and he builds up more and more experience, I think it's inevitable that he will. So who we've got coming into view should be Desi Henry. Led the Circuit of Ireland last year, and every rally since, it seems to have been something worked against him. In the Citroen this weekend, another driver has changed from Fiesta to Desi potentially somebody could win this rally? I think he is. Paddy Robinson sitting in with Desi.
So they move from here to approximately 9 miles of Special Stage 2 mucker, which is just west of this opening stage of the 2023 Milburn Concrete Circuit of Ireland Rally.
We'll have our first marker in. Josh is safely through the first stage, 6:31.5. I think I said I predicted 6:30.
6.5 minutes, yeah,
so
you did.
Not too far away.
So McDonald's and you at lunchtime then?
I don't know about that, but I think the organisers will be quite pleased about that. Second time in, Marion Evans, my goodness, 5.6 seconds slower than Josh. Match fit, Josh.
So Robert Barrable and Gordon Noble. Robert, who was absolutely astonishing on the Sunday in West Cork when he bolted on a set of tyres that just enabled him to leapfrog about 4 places up the leaderboard, and quite confident coming into the Circuit of Ireland now after a couple of events in the Citroen.
We'll talk about confidence. I think Josh Moffat is on a crest of a wave. That is confidence to go 5.6 seconds quicker on an 8-mile stage. And we know Marion is on the case, like out of the blocks. Marion is
quick.
He really is. So.
Wow, you're going to have to eat that bit back again, aren't you?
I am. Match fit this race. These guys are carrying on from
but when you look at that quickly, 10 seconds between Callum Devine and Marion Evans, and they're all on the ball.
Yeah. So we've just had stunning Devine while we're seeing Gary Jennings on the sounds sharp too.
It does.
So Callum set a time 6:27.7, Josh 6:31.5, 3.8 seconds down, and Marion 6:37.1, 9.4 seconds further back. So we know that Callum has been knocking his head a bit, trying to find the pace. West Cork, he just didn't have an answer at times.
I think from memory, this car that he's in today arrived with him last year from Minty Motorsport in South Africa.
Mhm.
And I think himself and Niall McShea got a couple of days in it pre-event, but it has been substantially refettled and rebuilt, and you can see now with a bit of seat time he is completely dialed into it, and it's handling to his liking.
Declan Boyle. Declan, bad luck in West Cork again. Got the car back into the rally and ran in Super Rally, and a few more miles under his belt, so it'll be interesting to see.
I hope he gets a good run today, because at the moment he has to be the most unlucky man in rallying in terms of retirements and issues, and through no fault of his own. So I'd love to see Declan and Patrick Watch get a really good run today, really would.
So we've already given the live results a mention earlier on, but rallyscore.net, the results are coming in thick and fast now. Johnny Greer has just come in 6:40.7, 13 seconds behind Callum. Exactly 13 seconds. Sam Moffat's just popped into third. That's pretty good, Sav. 6:35.6.
Yeah, I think we could see Sam maybe grab a podium. He's getting more and more seat time in the Hyundai. This will be his fourth event.
So we saw Callum McCourtin. We were talking about Callum, and I mentioned he was lighting up the rear tyres coming out of the hairpin there. There was tyre smoke, and which these cars, they shouldn't do that. Well, we hear he might be struggling a bit, and I'm wondering, Andrew Bush also thinks that it might be, has he got a transmission problem? I would suspect possibly the same myself. When you just don't see these modern R5s spinning the rear wheels up. It was like a rear wheel drive car.
And I mean, as I said, I had a really good chat yesterday with an engineer I've known for years, and explained the vagaries and differences between the Fiesta and Citroen in terms of plates in the diff and what the plates do to change the adjustment. Car number 12. Gareth with Gerard Conway in the passenger seat this weekend.
Well, we were talking, Jason Mitchell was through. Nice to see Joe McGonigal out. Joe, regular competitor in the British Rally Championship, Tarmac Rally Championship, National Rally. Joe from Muff in County Donegal. There's a big petrol station there. If anybody's from that neck of the woods, Joe's a popular character. Should be due next.
Looks like Desi Henry's time's popped in on a 6:35.2, putting him into third.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Maxwell sponsorship.
Yeah, it does. Cathal McCord's through now as well on a time of 7:54.7.
Disaster.
So
minute and a half down.
Yeah, that's
definitely a technical problem for Cathal. We know, we saw him struggling through our corner, spinning wheels. Imagine a front drive shaft's broken, or
he's going to have to make his way now if he's going
got
to keep
another
going.
stage to do.
Another stage to do before service. And there's only a 20-minute service as well.
Yep.
So,
Nicky Burke following us there. Nicky saying, we'll see you all in Killarney in 3 weeks' time when I'm sitting with Noel O'Sullivan on our 30th start together on the Rally of the Lakes. That's pretty impressive. Fair play to you, Nicky. So a reseed here. This is Frank Ray, another Donegal man. Frank, a regular on the Triton Irish National Rally Championship. So our fears are confirmed. Zav, it does seem to be a broken drive shaft for Cathal McCourt, which means he really doesn't have much option. He's going to have to do the next stage and then get the service before he can do anything. It's not possible to repair something like that.
No, he'll not get that repaired on the side of the road. But the question is whether he continues at the second stage and it doesn't do any further damage.
Should be Niall Henry up next with Barney Mitchell.
Barney some
touch me during the week. He's going over with Marty McCormick to the Rally Nuts next weekend in Mid Wales, a really good gravel rally. A couple more times in, interesting. Gary Jennings, yep, new car's not so bad after all. 7th overall, 6:45.8. Robert Barrable, 6:47.3. Now
20 seconds slower.
He did sort of mention at the start to Tony that West Cork he knows very well. Here he's never been, and difficult terrain, different type of stages. Alan Carmichael. He's the current British Rally National Champion. Taking the opportunity, he's also doing the British Rally Championship this year, but took a fancy for the Circuit of Ireland as well.
No, it's good to see him. It's
good competitor.
Reasonably local to him from Ballymena.
Yes.
Close-ish.
Yes.
But good to see him out because we don't often get the chance to sort of mention him.
So the next man we should have, there's been a lot of chat about this guy. His first time out in an R5 car. Ryan Loughran and Chris Melly. Ryan, we know, prepares Mark II escorts. Rapidly quick in the Mark II. I'm really interested to see how Ryan gets on. I think it's a big ask because the R5 cars need a bit of work and fine tuning, but I still don't think he'll be far away. That wasn't too bad.
No, so through and away. And of course, Guy Jennings mentioning Ryan whenever Tony was interviewing him in service this morning.
So I'm just checking the rally score results now. So Callum leads by 3 seconds from Josh. Desi Henry's slotted very nicely into third, 7 seconds down. Sam Moffat literally 0.4 of a second behind Desi. Marion Evans is in 5th, Johnny Greer 6th. Declan Boyle, nice time from Declan, 6:45.4, slots him into 7th and just popped onto the results on exactly the same time as Gareth McHale. Gareth really came on in West Cork and he's 7th fastest, that's pretty good. Former tarmac champion, former Irish Rally champion. So Aaron McLaughlin through there. Now, Damien Toner. First of the Mark IIs. So here's Damien, first of the Mark IIs, first of the modifieds. Stunning run on last year's Ulster Rally. couple of stages that he knew.
You were saying that, you know, some of the Millington and more powerful Mark IIs could set some really quick times in the dry today.
Yeah, I do.
You know.
On these first two stages, once they get into stages 3 and 4, the R5s will just leave them for dead. But because of the high-speed nature, certainly of this first stage, why not? Why not?
Yeah, we could. It really would be good to see. I'm going to be interested to see where it pops in now, because there wasn't as full a modified entry for the circuit here as there was for West Cork, but we also have a couple of entrants in the modified who haven't been out at all this year, so nice mixture.
Now, Kevin Eves needs no introduction, certainly from us. Listen to that. Fantastic.
Galway for him and a difficult West Cork, so we'll be wanting to pick up a rack of points here in the modified section on the Circuit of Ireland round 3 of the Irish Tarmac Championship and round 4 of the Historics. So leading crews now making their way to the start of the second stage. Mucker due off at 09:57, about 10 minutes away. And from there they then make their way back to Meteor Industrial Complex, where they have a 20-minute service at 20:11, and Tony will be there to get the views of the crews over the opening 2 stages today.
So just to be clear, there's the control is at Meteor, and there's a regroup at Meteor. Wayne Sisson, regular visitor to the Circuit of Ireland from England.
Lined up to do the Manx round of the National Tarmac Championship.
But the service today actually is at the well-known pit area for the Cookstown 100. So if they need to use the regroup, they'll do whatever they need to do there at Meteor, and then a couple of minutes later over to the service area at the Cookstown pits. That sounds like the distinctive William Crichton coming.
Deceptively quick.
It is, but you have to drive it to get it deceptively quick. William, we know, had a fantastic run on the circuit last year, and I don't see any reason why he won't have a good run this year.
Of course,
he got a puncture in West Cork, didn't he? And he dropped about 3 minutes and ended up finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, and I mean, last year in the circuit we only had the 2 stages that we used, but 2 completely different stages, and we ended up having a cracking event, which was really good.
This should be James Ford. Neil Shanks co-driving. Yep. So you compare that to when Catherine McCourt in the same
completely
car.
different.
Catherine's car was just spinning the back wheels.
Yeah.
James did the circuit last year, and I'm reliably informed by our historical expert that James won the historics on the circuit last year. Stepped up to an R5 this year.
Ryan Loughran's time in puts him in 11th on a 6 minutes 50.8 seconds.
Not so bad for your first time in an R5.
Not at all.
Michael McGarty, son of Derek McGarty. Oh, just misjudged his braking. I don't put her into reverse too quick now, Michael, and he has stalled. Car started gently. Michael has the calming hand of Damien Garvey alongside him, so no dramas there. One of the worst things you can do is start banging it into gears to try and damage his gearboxes. And another calming hand, Alan Harriman. He's co-driving for Donegal's PJ McDermott.
Roger Albert Clark with Tony Jardine in the Hillman Avenger, the Talbot Avenger. Alan has had quite a busy few weeks in Greece and in, I think, Sweden recently, navigating.
Yeah, he was doing some driver tuition as well.
Yeah.
He was effectively in the yard in his motorhome the other day, and he was out in Sweden with the Porsche as doing driver tuition. Very interesting. Alan, everybody thinks of Alan as a co-driver, but actually he's a very, very accomplished driver, just like his father was as well. Somebody mentioned that James Ford won this year's Silver Fern Rally in New Zealand, and I noticed that James George Watts is evening from New Zealand. With a great crack today on the circuit. Yeah, it's shaping up, isn't it, James?
Martin Kearns, Peter Ward through there in car 27.
Martin switched from a WRC Fiesta to the R5 car to enable to do events like the circuit.
So Kevin Eves through now with a time of 7 minutes 6.7 seconds.
Okay, so the R5s have got the advantage here on the high-speed stuff.
Just double checking the results. That's the only two-wheel drive time I can see through, which is odd.
So we should have had Damien Toner. And talking of Damien Toner, here's Marty Toner.
So we're going to be heading over to stage 2 mucker shortly. Leading crews at the start line. And there you can see on our on-screen, the little dots in blue at the bottom of the picture, that's the leading crews heading to stage 2 or at stage 2.
Unfortunately, on the tracking system, if they go blue, and Damien Toner unfortunately is blue just after what I'd say the back entrance to Dava Forest, and you can see him on the tracking there. He's a solid colour, slightly different colours on screen to what I'm looking at. Mr. Hetherington. The big car, as they call it.
Yeah. He's been doing quite a lot of historic rallying lately.
The big Jokic is known. The lean green flying machine. So big shame to lose Damien Toner. Maybe he's changing a puncture or something, but he's been stopped for 3 or 4 minutes now, so that generally doesn't mean good news. So, fantastic driver now, Camillus Bradley from Draperstown, not a stone's throw from this stage, with the hugely experienced Crawford Henderson. who seem to be running away from talking to people this morning in service. Camilla's always smooth and tidy, and yet seems to be able to set stage times that are remarkable sometimes, and he's such a quiet and unassuming guy. So the leading drivers are pretty much getting ready to get going on stage 2, and we're almost ready to go to stage 2. So when that's going to happen very shortly. So very dramatic John Joe Duggan there, showing what a Mark II can do, and we're just going to head over to stage 2 now and pick up some action.
So good to see all the major sponsors on board there, the sponsor boards.
McAvoy's. And talking about Gary McAvoy, he's got a great new stand, Sav, which is in the service area, flattothehat.com.
Yeah.
Anybody want to get some really good merchandise, pop over, see Gary. You'll be able to talk the hind legs of a donkey and maybe even play a wee tune on the banjo.
And as Dave Moynihan told me many years ago, you support those who support your sport. So certainly worth calling in to see because there's some nice bits and pieces to be had. Speaking of merchandise, and I know it's completely unrelated to rallying, but it has a tenuous connection because of Gary and the jackets and all the other stuff he sells. How much a day does the Masters merchandise tent take in Augusta?
I'm not even going to guess because I'll make an idiot of myself, and I'm good at that. But I got taken to the Irish Open about 10 years ago, and the man who took me there is involved in Augusta with the television, and they also look after effectively the village that they build for the merchandising. And they never talk about numbers, but it is staggering.
$8 million a day.
A day. Yeah.
I couldn't believe that the other night. And I know that the likes of Gary McAvoy and Pit Lane Motorsport and Brian Stitch and Orchard Motorsport, I know they're busy, you know, when you go into service areas and you see people buying models, DVDs, t-shirts, jackets, hats, all that kind of thing. But it just shows you a little side bit on merchandise for sports.
So stage 2 is live. Won't be long before we have some pictures, I don't think.
We're just checking the clouds now, and there we go. There's a great example of what Frank Kelly said, Finland on tar.
Yes. But it's the speed they're carrying. It's the speed. It's so fast.
Yeah. And be interested to see how Gary Jennings gets on with his 4 bags of coal less weight in the car. But you know, when you think about it, 80 kilos, the Mark II Fiesta is lighter than its predecessor.
Well, when he gets used to this, we both know the finer points. 80 kilos, it's not just the acceleration, it's the probably brake 1 second later when you've got 20 junction in a stage.
Oh yeah,
suddenly you're so much quicker. You can carry a little bit more speed through a corner. You get there a little bit faster. You can brake a little bit later. That's what the development's all about. I mean, I was with a former World Championship driver last night. You don't need to be a genius to work out who that is. And he's currently testing for one of the manufacturers. And he is of the opinion even the WRC needs to be looking at the R5s with a bigger restrictor and a wing on the back. That's the answer.
Yeah.
That these cars are so good.
I totally agree with you, because we haven't seen any of the hybrids make their way down through and I don't think you will. So the options of going to M Sport and buying a next current WRC car, it's not going to happen. I certainly think the man that you were talking about is echoing what I've seen advocated for by people who compete at a very big level.
Yep.
And it's not just him saying it. There's a lot of people have said that. Go bigger restrictor, big airfoil in the back for downforce.
But just stick with the R5
and that's
formula.
it. But stick with that. And the beauty for us as fans is that you then will find
you could be getting 80 entries on a World Championship rally
easily,
as opposed to 30.
Easily. Yep. But equally, whenever they start to trickle down, you will get your world level drivers going and competing, and they might come and compete in an Irish event.
We're not far away here, by the way, so just so that you know. Be prepared to see Mr. Moffat appear into view at any second.
Here we go.
Yep. So he's passed us on 31 seconds there on our clock. We're about a mile from the end of the stage, so that's our marker. Let's see if Josh is... You can see completely different terrain. We're really into the Sperrins here.
Yeah.
More undulating. In places hedgerows, but in places there's no hedgerows. Much bumpier than the first stage. End of the first stage is a bit bumpy, but generally it was, as our camera, was quite smooth.
I can hear in the background that you can hear the wind blowing around, so as you say, you're up high and it's pretty open in terms of...
I'd say Marion's about to arrive into view very, very soon. We're hearing the wind rather than the rally car. Marion getting a bit of air underneath the polo. Corner. He's already down on time. 5 seconds down, I'd say. So keep our eye on the rally score results. Don't think it'll be very long before we get a time in for Josh. So there's a quick regroup, the top 5 after stage 1. Callum leading from Josh. And we're just looking.
There we go.
And I was going to say, so we're... So first time, Callum, again, 5 seconds down, I'd say, 4 or 5 seconds, Sav. Josh has set a 7:18.7 on that stage. And I think at this point, that should be, yep, Marion Evans time in, 7:24.1. So whilst Callum was faster on the first stage, fastest by 3 seconds on the first stage, I have a feeling that Josh might redress that. I think he was 4 to 5 seconds faster at our point on this stage.
Well, I think Josh will get dialed in very quickly. I mean, over the last number of events, you could just see where the level has changed. Johnny Greer, Niall Burns, Carrie Duff and Sligo combination.
Yep, Johnny pretty much on the same time as both Marion and Callum. Sam Moffat's due next. Give him about 10 seconds. So, yeah, oh goodness me. As I suspected, Josh is the faster car at this point. Callum's done a 7:22.2. So, Callum leads the rally by a huge margin, 0.3 of a second after 2 stages. Here we go, Sav. Big race on again.
That's what you want. So 0.3 of a second going into the first main service of the day.
Sam through, so let's see what Sam passes across. Sam, he's about 8 or 9 seconds down, and we have a top 5 overall on the just come off the screen, but I just wanted to say Desi Henry is 3rd, not Callum Devine. Great time by Desi over the first stage. So Johnny Greer time in, 3rd fastest on that stage. Nothing in it here, Zav. It's all very, very tight. That time by Josh was very, very impressive.
No, that's what we want.
Very
you
impressive.
You want it tight all the way to the end.
10th of a second between the other guys. Whoa! That was a big, heavy landing. Desi is really on a push. Okay, so he passed our clock there at 37, puts him about 6 down on Josh, but level with everybody else. So will he keep his 3rd place? That's the thing, probably. Temperature says 9 degrees. Nice day, clear skies. Sam's time in, 7:26.2, 5th fastest. So we really need Desi's time to give us a top 6 for this stage. Remember, the later crews are all still on stage 1. And we were talking with the producers yesterday, and they were saying once this rally gets rolling, Zav, it's like, it's non-stop today.
Yeah.
And if you've a problem, like Cahan McCourt, so Robert Barable is on the stage and Cahan McCourt is on the stage, but Cahan, we know, is really struggling with a broken drive shaft. So that's why we've got a bit of a delay. Cahan's probably going to drop another minute here, but it's better than retiring the car, where you'll take a 15-minute penalty if you were to retire the car, get it fixed, and then rejoin the rally. So,
well, at the moment, I mean, the top 5 on the opening stage were covered by 9.4 seconds, and at the moment on the second stage, 11.9 covers them. So it is getting tighter.
Yep.
And as you say, it's now non-stop for the rest of the day. From here into service at 10:40, where they have 20 minutes. Back for stage 3 at 11:29, and then Shanmangri at 12:11.
Here's Cahan with
his really slow.
His rather struggling Citroen. No, only drive to the rear wheels, we believe. So, depending on what time he started the stage, he's probably another minute and a half down. I imagine Robert Barable, with the very experienced Gordon Noble co-driving, has probably taken an extra minute at the start of this stage.
To give them the gap.
Yeah.
You don't want to get caught behind them and then
it's a fair request. It's a fair request that you don't want to put that driver who's already struggling with a mechanical difficulty under any more pressure.
There's Robert now, Gordy Noble.
So they're about 12 or 13 seconds down on Josh at this point of the stage.
So you can see the graphic there, top right hand corner, the Samdeck backed top 5 after 2 stages. Callum Devine very narrowly to 0.3 second over Desi Henry, Marion Evans and Sam Moffat.
So that's after stage 1. Oh, that's after this stage, yep. So Desi Henry's time is in 7:24.3, 5th fastest.
So my eyesight isn't too bad at all.
No, your eyesight's grand.
Maybe the graphics have got better.
Maybe the guy doing the graphics has got better.
Well, that could well be the case.
Look, Gary Jennings showing his class there. He was tighter into that junction than I think. Unfortunately, he's a bit off the pace there. He's about 20 seconds down. I wonder if he had a half spin or something on this stage. That would be interesting to hear if Gary had any dramas, because certainly he seemed to be carrying good speed, and really Gary's the man who knows how to win rallies.
It's going to be interesting to hear the drivers' comments after the 2 stages, and then thoughts going into the next 2 stages, which are south of Cookstown, if you know the area. The Hollow is 8 miles just east of Cookstown, and then the other is slightly southwest, as Declan Boyle and Patrick Walsh.
Another driver taking a good cut. Yeah. Interesting. So Declan there probably about 12 or 13 seconds off the leaders.
Quickest on the opening stage.
Yep, Cahan McCourt, as predicted, dropped another minute and a half. So he's dropped about 3 minutes over these 2 stages. He's 3 minutes and 7 seconds behind the leaders. If he gets his drive shaft fixed in service, which I've absolutely no reason why he can't. That's the whole thing with R5s, is that these parts literally bolt on, bolt off. You talk to the engineers about it, and they are a joy to work on these cars. Certain things are a joy. So 3 minutes for somebody like Cahan. Can he end up in the top 10 by the end of the rally?
Can't see it.
Can't see it either. Not with 3 minutes. It's too tight, isn't it?
Yeah, I genuinely don't see him making that time up. What he can do is go and stick in a couple of fastest times
and prove that he's not gone away,
and aim to maybe get some development stuff done for the next event he contests.
Yep. So we should have Jason Mitchell up. Here we go. Jason being cautious enough there.
Saying to Tony, just back up to a competitive level. Very good in the circuit last year.
Well, he ended up with his dream result, didn't he? I mean, even he couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So a few more times in. Declan Boyle and Patrick Walsh, 7:34.1. Johnny Greer and Al Burns, 7:23.9. Puts them in 6th. Declan Boyle, Patrick Walsh, 7th. Robert Barber and Gordy Noble, 8th at the moment. But 30 seconds, Michael, covering the top 9 or 10. You know, that's tight enough after 2 stages and a lot.
Particularly when the terrain's going to change so dramatically. That looks a man going hard.
And of course, Gareth competed for a couple of years at World Championship level. So, again,
just getting a friend who's a good old rally man who's been away on a big family holiday and actually in Australia. And apparently we're coming through loud and clear in Milburn Airport. We're about to start the long run home. Have a safe trip, Sean Tracy.
And turn the volume up so all those people that still live there can hear the home accent. He'll hardly be home in time for the last stage, will he?
I wouldn't have thought so. We have a gathering on a Sunday evening called the Sunday Club. I don't even think he'd be making the Sunday Club. If he does, fair play to him. So Joe McGonigal's due in the shot very, very soon. Joe in his very distinctive Fiesta.
Kieran Ganey alongside.
Great pairing.
The man from Muff in Donegal.
Yep.
I always think that's a great place name.
Well, I didn't want to start any controversy earlier when I said, you know, if you ever come to Donegal, you've got to go to Muff. And you do, trust me. I think actually...
the restaurant's supposed to be very good
Joe,
as well.
that's
Joe's
exactly
restaurant.
what I was going to say. He spent a couple of years out of rallying there while they developed the restaurant. and I have never been, but I hear it's very, very
Yeah.
good.
Really good reports by anyone I know that have gone there and eaten. So very, very good. So 11.9 seconds covers the top 5, and 36 seconds covers the top 10. So not a lot in it just yet.
This should be Frank Ray. Frank was on the reserve list, rightly reseated to where he is, running with 1:27 on the car.
Kevin Eves showing they have a 10-second penalty for being 1 minute late at time control 2, so it'll be worth keeping an eye on that.
So where's time control 2?
I just was. That's what I was. So we'll just keep an eye on that, because sometimes the vagaries of time and can then be rectified with competitor delays and officers.
Well, the one man who is always reluctant to put penalties on is Paddy McCollum until he has the full story. And Paddy is a genius when it comes to results. He's the man behind the Rally Score system, rallyscore.net. TC2. Okay. Intrigued. So we should have Alan Carmichael. No, Niall Henry. Where's Niall Henry? After saying about Jason Mitchell, Jason Mitchell seems to have gone blue, and it is Alan Carmichael coming into shot. In the hardcore-backed Hyundai. Alan's, for a couple of years there, was hiring people like Derek McGeehan's Mini, but he took the plunge last year and actually bought this Hyundai, and he's having a ball in it, having some great rallies, great results. He finished second on the Rally North Wales a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, very consistent and steady, and has improved with the more seat time he's had.
So Jason Mitchell seems to be stopped not long after our second camera. That's a shame for Jason. I hope everything's all right. He was certainly going all right when he passed us. And Loughran. Just over 20 seconds down in the leaders. That's pretty impressive in my book. So you're mentioning Kevin Eves. Kevin Eves is on the stage, due with us in 2 or 3 minutes. Looks like Kevin's sort of in a bit of a rally of his own at the moment, even with his 10-second penalty.
Kevin from
Something that's just caught my eye. Did we see Jason Black on the first stage?
No.
I don't think we did.
No.
Did we?
Kevin East from Pedigo and Owen Mallon from Cookstown.
So I don't. We didn't see Jason, but Jason set a good time on the first stage of 6:57.3. Marty Toner did a 6:58.5. So effectively, because of the 10-second penalty, Jason's leading the modifieds in the startup.
Through there, car number 18, Aaron Loughran and Darren Curran.
Yep. Aaron's going to sneak into the top 10 today, I suspect.
Aaron from Carndonna, co-driven this time by Darren Curran. 11th on the race and rally stages and 3rd on Kirkuson.
Just going to get the Class 7 results up for the first stage. Yep. So Jason is leading the modifieds on a 6:57.3 after the first stage. Marty Toner, 6:58.5. Kevin Eves, 7:06.7. Now I would believe that was his stage time, and he's got plus 10 seconds on top of that. And Niall Henry in the R picture. Barry Morris in the Darien is 4th. Doherty 5th. And Millis 6th. Adrian Hetherington 7th. John Joe Duggan 8th. And a man making a rallying comeback, Declan McNaughton, 9th over the first stage, and again 26 seconds separating those guys over the opening stage. Now Class 1 is our historic, so any times in for them? Not yet, it's a bit early yet.
Chris Boyd making a point that Desi Henry could be the man to watch.
I
agree. He reckons he dropped a lot of time when he caught Cahan McCourt on stage. So
really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Chris will be one of those people that has 5 or 6 things all going at the same time, like trying to mind mice at a crossroads, as they say.
So why have we not got more times in from these guys?
So, coming up to our camera point now is Wayne Sisson.
Yep.
Wayne having a good run today. From Carnforth, Lancashire, and Peredur Davies from Philwell in Wales. Out earlier this year at Race Retro, but is entered for the Isle of Man in a couple of weeks' time.
So Sav, I'm just having a look back into stage 1 here, and just I thought, is there the time still coming? And the historics are now in, but the first one that unfortunately on blue is Frank Kelly, about halfway through stage 1. Frank Kelly's showing blue. Stage is still running, so mechanical failure maybe for Frank.
William Crichton and Liam Regan. William and Liam WRC at the moment, and a very close finish at the last round in Sweden. We're out in West Cork and here at the circuit with a little bit of getting a bit of extra seat time. That's a pity about Frank Kelly, because he would have wanted to go well, being that half an hour from home.
Well, it's. I mean, maybe they can get something sorted. Maybe, I don't know the circumstances, but we probably won't be able to find out because he's stuck in the middle of the stage.
So up next should be Preston's James Ford and Elgin's Neil Shanks.
Multi-talented.
As Michael was saying earlier, they were out competing on the rally with no name in Norway in the Tuthill Porsche rally. And we're actually leading at one point, but that was a rally won by Chris Harrison, PG Anderson.
Okay.
James has done a lot of rallying in the last while, and as Michael was saying, won Silver Fern as he comes at the shot.
So we ran through the modified after stage 1 a couple of minutes ago. There it is on screen, everybody can see. One thing to bear in mind is that, as Zav has picked up already, that apparently Kevin Eves has a 10-second penalty that isn't being shown yet. So hasn't been. It's there, but it's not been applied. Now, interestingly, Kevin was a 7:53.0 on this stage, but because of this bit of a gap between the modified cars, I don't quite know where Jason Black is running on the road. He's running out of order.
I think you know he's way down.
Yeah.
On Glencormley's Michael McGarty just through there with Newry's Damien Garvey. So we'll try and work out I think from memory that.
So we also know that Niall Henry was running out of order in that stage, and I suspect he stopped and changed a puncture. He dropped 4 minutes on the stage, which would be indicative of a problem. Maybe it was mechanical, but that would be my gut feeling. So this is PJ McDermott. Donegal building contractor and hotelier, well-known man around Letterkenny, has a stake in the Anne Granion Hotel. So we've had confirmation about Frank Kelly. He's off the road, but everything's okay. From Frank himself, somebody in the production office sent him a wee message, and big thumbs up from him, but bit of a shame. He sort of said that he was going for it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He did mention at the start, look, this is going to be good. Well, Lauren will be beating him about the head. What did you do that for, Dad?
Yeah.
No, as long as they're all okay, and
she might even make him walk home.
It's not that far. So Martin Cairns.
Next up now should be in half a minute or so Camillus Bradley. Draperstown and Portrush pairing with myself and Crawford Henderson.
Couple of historic times in from the first stage, guys. Tommy O'Connell and Emmett Sherry. 7:26.4. Here we go again. There's nothing in this. Duncan Williams and Guy Weaver, 7:27.7. Wayne Evans and Sion Jones, 7:42.3. So 1.3 seconds separating Tommy O'Connell and Duncan Williams.
That's what you want.
Yep. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Here we go.
Camillus. Neat and tidy.
Next up for us should be John O'Dugan.
John O was really spectacular.
Kieran Marin.
Yeah, our camera position on stage one.
John O did the Midland Moto stages and finished 14th in class 14.
So, just for our own information, John O should be up next, then Eddie Doherty, and then Jason Black. Jason, obviously. So here's John O, looking pretty spectacular again. Nice line. Going well. So a whole batch of modified guys coming, all of them really good, all of them really quick. Good battle already, developing in the modified part of the rally.
Last time we saw Eddie Murphy, Michael, was in West Cork, where he was 16th overall, 5th in class 14, and of course was 20th overall in Galway at the start of the year. Tom Murphy alongside him today.
What about Eddie Doherty?
That's Eddie.
Not Murphy?
Murphy.
Aye. Murphy's the co-driver. That's okay.
I'll just get my bags, will I?
Because there is Ed Murphy.
Yeah, no, there is. I know there is. I'll just get my coat.
It's all right. You're doing well.
The thing about it is the way things are going today. If you hadn't picked me up on it, Chris Boyd certainly would have. So, like you say, there's a really good close battle now. The modifieds as well, which is going to be entertaining. Should be.
That's interesting. So Kevin
Jason
Eves did
Black.
a 7:53.0 and Camillus did an 8:16.7. Now we if you remember back to West Cork, Kevin went into Super Rally and he came back out and he just blitzed everybody. I mean, he just... And I remember listening to the Irish Rally podcast afterwards, and I had the 3 modified. So here's Jason Black, current modified leader. Going very nicely. So we'll wait with bated breath. Gary Kernan and all those guys on the Irish Rally podcast, and they were like, yeah, Kevin comes out with nothing to prove and just basically made agents of us all. Yeah, he's fair play to him.
Jason Black, Carl Egan through there. 18th on the Eurocables rally at Kirkuson earlier in the year, 62nd overall in West Cork. So next up, we should have
Colin O'Rourke, I hope, and Callum Maguire. And they're slightly more these days, slightly unusual Skoda Fabia.
Yeah, 22nd overall in Galway. And before I get the name wrong, I'm double checking. So Shane Gilhooly is not sitting with him.
There's been a few, so it's Callum Maguire in with Colin.
Top line Motor Factory's car, back car. Coming up next should be John Devlin and John McCarthy. John, who has was Northern Ireland two-wheel drive champion in 2019. And
was that his first year in the Escort when he switched up after the Sunbeam, or was it the year before?
The last event I think on the Sunbeam was Loughgall back in 2019, but then he won the Motorsport UK Asphalt title, didn't he?
In the Escort. Yeah.
John was out last year. He did the Ulster and was 9th, and 15th overall last year's carried a forklift down rally. I think this is his and John's first event of the year, but John goes very well, very smooth and very consistent.
About to come into shot. There we go.
Lives opposite Loch Brickland Lake, if any of you know the area.
Short shift in the Escort. So if anybody's in the service area, the cars have done the regroup and are about to arrive into service. So pretty short, sweet. Organisers doing a great job. So John Devlin's through now. Was JF Shovlin, Emmett Brosnan are due up, but there seems to be a bit of, we might have a wee bit of a gap before they come. Just going to scroll out and see. Oh. Few times in. Colin O'Rourke's time just in, 8:07.4. 22nd fastest on the stage. Michael McGarrity, 8:02.3. Nice time from John Joe Duggan, 8:03.8, 21st overall. I think that's second modified, which is effectively the modified cars are running class 7, most of them. So JF Shovlin should be coming into shot fairly quickly. I think Ollie Benton is catching him. No. So we're going to watch JF through.
I think that was Ollie Benton and Kyle Diffin.
Was it? No, that was JF Shovelin. Ollie Benton's blue Mark II, and he's due into shot fairly quickly. Ollie obviously doing the Tarmac Championship in the modified section. Ollie seems to do as many rallies as can. Great setup, him and his dad. His dad drives sometimes, Ollie drives sometimes. They switch about, and yes. So we're going to see Ollie Benton through, nice and smooth. And we're going to hand over to Tony Kelly coming from first service today.
We're here in service and we have the rally leader. Are you very, very happy with that morning, Callum?
Yeah, we're happy enough now, to be honest, Tony. We had a good start this morning. We were happy with that now. And then, the second stage is just maybe just showed too much caution over the bad bumps, and Josh took a bit of time back. But we're just in the lead. But look, we're happy to be in this position anyway than the other way about, I know it's only 3/10 in it, but yeah, as I expected, a tight race, like.
And I mean, obviously heading into the next round of stages is absolutely, it's not the same as a normal route where you're kind of heading into the same thing again. You've got to actually get ready for the next loop, which is totally different.
Yeah, exactly. Two completely different stages too. Like them two ones were very fast and very, very choppy, but these ones are kind of, more busy, a bit more work on them and stuff. So it's just a completely different rally again. So we'll see now. We have to just reset and go again.
How do you find those stages? Like, do you prefer the kind of the tight stuff, technical work, or do you prefer the fast flowy?
I do like the technical stuff, to be honest. But yeah, seems the fast stuff's going okay too. So yeah, you kind of need to be good at all of them anyway. Boys like Josh Moffat biting at your tails the whole time. So yeah, look, we're looking forward to these next two stages and keep out of trouble and try and keep a good pace and see where we're at.
And are you finding tyre choices this morning? I know it's dry, but the temperatures are kind of all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of went probably a more cautious open. Maybe that might have hampered us a wee bit in the second stage. So yeah, look, we'll make another change here now in service and see where that goes.
Good man, Callum. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next loop. So that's Callum Devine, rally leader. Up this direction we have the rest of kind of the top of the field. We've got the likes of Josh Moffat and everybody. So we're just going to make our way up there and get a quick chat with these guys because it's a very interesting start to the morning. We hear Callum there, and it's, although there's the lead, there's never any comfort. So we'll just jump in here now to the Moffats and see if we can get a quick word with them. They're normally in the van here, so bear with me, folks. Josh, are you happy enough with that morning? Very busy.
Yeah, busy stages there. In general, I suppose we have to be happy. We're not far off Callum there, so yeah, it's been good.
I mean, a very tricky opener.
Sorry, what's that?
A very tricky opener. Like there was no.
Was like, I think the pace from everybody there has been very fast, and everybody's on it. Obviously, everybody wants to try and win the rally, so yeah, it's good.
There was no kind of room for bedding in today. Like you have to be on it from word go here today because we've only got one day. There's no picking it back tomorrow or anything.
Yeah, there's only 8 stages, but long enough stages too. But look, there's no time for hanging about there. You have to be on it from the word go.
Are we happy with the tyres and everything there?
Yeah, I think our tyres and everything was good there. Probably just do more of the same now and see how we go.
And we were chatting to Callum about the fact that you're kind of heading into a completely different loop now as well. So you just have to get your head completely out of those last stages into these next ones.
Yeah, I suppose it's going to be the same for everybody, and it should be fine.
Good man, Josh. Thank you very much. We'll see if we can get a quick word now with Sam. We're always torturing you during this valuable time to eat, Sam. But valuable time to eat. But
nutrition is key, they say.
It's where you get the energy. But look, how did your morning go so far?
Yeah, I think it went really well. Actually, we're quite happy. Not sure about the last stage where we lost time, but I was very happy with my driving and make a few changes here. I think we were, a few wee setup changes still to learn, and overall very happy. Stages are very challenging, I have to say, but challenging great. I think it's a long time since we've had straights with just continuous work on every corner and every straight and everything. I think it's great, and really enjoying it actually.
Brilliant, and it always makes it much easier whenever you're enjoying the rally to sit in and actually do your best as a driver.
Yeah, look, I'm happy. I know I can push on a wee bit, but we're coming into 2 serious challenging stages, especially the second one now of this loop. It's it's just endless, to be honest, actually. But yeah, all good. Can't wait.
Is that the type of thing that you enjoy, or do you just find it just so intense the whole time? You kind of would rather a wee bit more flow?
No, I honest. So yeah, I'm really going to enjoy these. Whether I'm fast or not's another thing, but I'll really enjoy them, hopefully.
Brilliant, good man, Sam. Great. Thanks very much for talking to us. So that's Sam Moffat, and we're going to make our way over this end now. As you can see, the guys are working flat out in the cars here. A tiny wee bit of work done there on the side of Josh's car. So very interesting when it comes to rallying, isn't it? We're very lucky if we get away with not giving it a wee dent here or there. We're coming up now, and you can see behind us we have Melvin Evans. So I'll jump into the truck here again and see if I can get a quick word with Marion. Jonathan's out here, but I'd say Marion could be in. No, he's actually in the car, so we'll see if we can get a wee word with him. Donovan's walking around there, and he's seeing the intricacies of what goes on whenever you come into service. Melvin, are you happy enough with the morning so far?
Well, yeah, he's back in one piece anyway, so that's a big plus. But the first two stages are very, very bumpy, and I think if you're brave, you can get away with it. And the car was crashing out a bit with us, so we need to look at that for the next loop when we go through them. But no, it's still close in it. You don't want to leave these boys have too much, but it's hard to keep up with them.
No, and that's the thing. It's a one-day event, a lot of stages, a lot of stage miles. But at the end of the day, it kind of has to be. You have to be on the money immediately today.
Yeah. You lose like 5 or 10 seconds to these boys. You can't get it back now these days because of fighting so close, which is good, but it's not good if you've lost a bit. But it's still early days. There's still another 6 stages I think to do in it, and a lot of bends to go around.
Exactly, a lot of corners to go around. Melvin, thank you very much. And always an interesting perspective, I suppose, from Melvin as well, because although he's team manager, he's also wanting to see his son back safely. Marion's trying to get a quick bite in here before we get him out and get a quick word with him, so we'll just bear with him. A very quick service here today, Marion. You'll be happy to get in safely and out safely and back onto the roads.
Yeah, not much time, bit of work to do really, so a few big hits on the bumps in there and stuff, so it's just, they unsettle you a fair bit, They put you just think there's no way a car can survive some of them.
Yeah.
Just one or two of them just caught us out a bit, there was one in the middle of the road, flat in fifth, and we didn't even feel it in the recce because you got that much faster. I think the car just compressed and took off. Then we were down in the grass on the last one on a long straight. We got over what I thought was the worst of the bumps, but the road then just got really choppy and like that. Yeah. And it just took off, and we were down a ditch. And glad to get to the end of that one.
As you say, it is kind of unsettling. But do you find now, okay, it's unsettling, but you're out the other end. Do you find now that it's much easier to kind of head in, knowing that you've so much more time to pull back? That you can pull it back. Yeah, as in you were cautious the last run.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's probably spooked a couple of others as well. But yeah, to be honest, I didn't feel like I drove that well this morning. But we're not too bad still. It's only 10 seconds off the lead, which it's a lot on a one day maybe. But we're still sort of thereabouts. So whereas last year I didn't feel so good. We were a lot further behind. So maybe that's a good thing.
Exactly, and I think it's one of those things where when you pull things back, that's when you're flying really.
Yeah, and these two stages. Well, I think I said this morning these two stages are a bit more driving in them. In terms, the first two are very much just about being brave and committing on the jumps and the bumps. So maybe we were a bit safe on that, but the next two, the fourth one is very tricky, but there's a lot of driving in it. So yeah,
we're cut out for you.
Yeah, as always.
Marion, thanks a million. We'll catch you around the next loop. We'll let the guys get hard at work here, and we're just going to cut out this end again and get up into DGM Motorsport. We have Johnny Greer in here and co-driven by Niall Burns. I don't see the two guys about, but I'm sure they're not too far away. Dad Davey is there. Are they about anywhere? Bear with us, folks. So there you have it. They're heading out in 2 minutes again. So we'll just keep moving. We'll try actually and get a quick word with Niall Burns. Niall's under pressure here. Niall, we can't find Johnny, and you're looking under pressure. I'm sure there's a story to tell.
Not really, no. Just a bit of miscommunication between us and the organisers about the service out control. The two controls very close together, so we're just trying to see if they can move it to avoid congestion. But control is what it is. We can't say much, so we just have to get on with it. So.
How's your morning going?
So far so good. It was great. Like, you were coming over, put me on the spot.
Always. Was it enjoyable even?
It was enjoyable, yeah. Look, very bumpy stages, a lot more though than we thought on the recce. But look, a few setup changes now, 2 different stages now to go out to, so hopefully we can start making some time back.
Brilliant, good man. Thank you very much, Niall. We appreciate that. As we were told, we're putting a few people on the spot, so we'll still get plenty of information, though, which is the main thing. But they're happy enough with their morning so far, so that's a good sign. And as we were kind of saying to Marion there, you know, whatever about the stages being tricky, I think it's always a kind of a nice feeling to know, okay, you'd rather be fast immediately when you kind of start the morning, but it's also very encouraging, I feel, whenever you know that there's more out of you. You're not where you want to be just yet, but you still have potential to kind of keep moving, so that's the main thing a lot of the time. But we're going to keep moving here. Gareth McHale should be near. We have Brendan Comiskey and Jean Megan standing over chatting there. Team brief probably. We're going to see if we can get a quick word with the McHales here though. We have Gareth standing in. How are you folks? How are you? You're happy to be back in the on the stages anyway?
Oh yeah, no, glad to be back. The lads did a great job. It was a quick turnaround after West Cork. You know, it was only a couple 3 weeks between these two. So yeah, no, happy out. Stages are very, very bumpy. Like, they're very, very bumpy. So we'll make a couple of adjustments here and we should be all right.
I think they're a wee bit bumpier by the sounds of people than people thought.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. You know, they're car breakers really, you know, because they're such high speed bumps, Tony, and you know yourself, you just get out of line there, it's game over. So we were cautious enough now in the first two because we just want to get a bit more mileage in it there and get ready for Killarney. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, the championship always has to be in the back of your mind. Yeah, what do you call it? We said we'd do the championship this year, but it's sort of a couple of rallies, you know, we've been out of it for so long, so we're aiming to just go and do like Killarney and Donegal and Cork, and that's it. We're looking forward to it. And do you find that hard now, Gareth? Like, after being away for a couple of years, do you find it hard to kind of, the competitive streak is always going to be there? Oh, definitely, yeah. Listen, we wouldn't be doing it if we weren't competitive. But it is, yeah. Obviously, it's a different sort of ball game with the cars compared to the WRC cars and stuff like that. But we've a few rallies under our belt now, so we're getting well used to it and we're enjoying it back. And are you looking forward to these next two? Very technical? Yeah, I'm looking forward to these next two. The more sort of driving stages now, these next two, especially the fourth stage there, it's a good driving stage. So I'm looking forward to that one. Brilliant. Good man, Gareth. Thank you very much. We know the time is very valuable here in these shorter services, so we are trying to let guys just keep moving if we can. Marion is behind us and he's on the way to service out. So we'll try and move out of his way and keep him moving. And there you see Josh Moffat behind him. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Gary Jennings here now. Gary, how do you feel after that? Wee bit of nerves. Oh, definitely. Yeah. This morning, but I mean, very, very nice to get back into service after the first loop. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no damage done. Just nice and steady, and just felt our way through it. But yeah, it feels good. Everything feels good. That last is very, very, very bumpy. So yeah, the next two aren't as bumpy. So we'll go out and do these two, and then maybe come back and make some adjustments in the next service. But no, it feels good, and we're happy because we're not cruising. We're obviously pushing on, but I'm taking no chances. But no, the package feels good. The tyre feels the grip, and the car feels very good now, to be fair. That's really all you want, isn't it? Yeah, that's what we're here for. There's only one thing I don't know about the car, and I haven't found out yet. I don't know what the indicators is, so I'm going to have to go. I can't give you. You know where they are, so everything else seems to work all right. But you're back to the basics. Yeah. Hand signals out the window. Can't find indicators, but we must ask the boys now. But no, everything feels good. It's a lot different than the other car. If I had these next two overs, we'd definitely be a lot happier. So, yep. Good man, Gary. Thank you for talking to us. We're going to take another wee step around the service area here, and with Dave Moynihan and Rory Kennedy talking tactics, I would assume. Tyre tactics, no doubt. We're just going to make our way across here and see if we can get a quick word with Robert Barrable. I'm not entirely sure where he is, but he can't be far away because service out is only a few minutes away, so we'll see if we can get a quick word with him. Do you mind having a chat?
wee chat about rallying, Robert, on a Saturday morning. What else would we be doing?
Yeah.
You happy enough with your morning so far?
No, not really. No, we dropped a good bit of time in the first stage. Not too sure what it was for, and we haven't had a great second stage either. So, but we just have to have a bit of a reset now and go from there and see what we can make any time back on the next couple of stages and see. But I don't know where to find the time to the front lads, to be truthfully honest with you. So it's just a matter of trying to get in, just keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully it'll naturally come.
And to be fair, that's kind of the way it was in West Cork too. Like, when you you start off and you kind of don't know where you're getting the time out of, and then all of a sudden there you are, you're comfortable and you're ready to go. And a lot of people are sort of mentioning that the stages are a wee bit bumpier and trickier than they thought from the recce.
Yeah, we all have bumps in, but it's just a matter of trying to, maybe some of them are committing to them more. It's a totally different characteristic of the rally that we probably will have on the rest of the calendar. So look, it's just going to have to be just a matter of settling in, seeing what we can do, and hopefully try and climb a few spaces in the leaderboard now throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah. Do you find it tricky too, the way you're heading into two brand new stages, so you can't, what you've just driven, you can't change the car for now, essentially?
Yeah, they're totally different characteristics of the stages, to be honest with you. They're a lot more nicer but more flowier, but you just try and come up with an idea in your head and kind of hopefully run with it, and hopefully it'll be right, and hopefully see, but you just have to just try and go at it and get going at it and see.
Good man, Robert, thank you very much. Well, best luck for the next wee loop, and we will see you in service next time around. And it's one of the things that I'm kind of talking about there quite a bit, because it is tricky. Like, normally you do a service, you'll do stages, do a service, and whatever you found about those stages you'll come back and tweak in the service and head for the next stages. But obviously that's slightly different with this layout, so the guys are kind of having to get their head completely out of the last two and get ready for the next one. So a wee bit tricky at times, but definitely very doable. Obviously there's a lot of looking around the bonnet here. Cahan, can we get a quick word?
Hi, yeah.
Is there doing an awful lot of looking? Are you happy enough with everything?
I broke a shaft at the start of the stage one there, so and then we come in and there's the other shaft on the other side of it's been broke too, so two broken shafts. So no, it's not a great start now, but here, look, we just have to go now again. We've two new shafts in and see how it goes. That's all we can do.
And did you lose much time with everything?
I lost about 3 minutes. I drove through stage 2 and most of stage 1, so I'd say I lost probably over 3 minutes. What do you do?
What do you do? That's very much rallying, but you're going to keep pushing because it's all about mileage in the new car.
Okay, look, that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn, see what we can do here with this car. So I suppose we didn't get off to a great start this morning, but here, we'll see what the afternoon brings.
Good man, Cahan. Thank you very much. We'll let you go. We know you are busy, and with Desi Henry just moving off here, so we're going to see if we might actually mosey down towards the control and see if we can get a quick word actually with Desi. Because it would be interesting to hear his point of view after that first loop of stages. He obviously had a great run through, and a lot of people feel like Desi could be the one to watch. This type of stage would suit Desi quite a bit, so bear with us, folks. We might just be in luck if we get around here. Possibly not, but it's worth taking a wee chance. We'll get the mileage up today too. Steps in. Aye. Our luck is in. We're going to get a quick word here now with Desi if we can. Desi, we just missed you at service there.
You're grand.
Come here. A great start to the morning.
Yeah, happy enough. Probably better than we thought. We just wanted to go out the first loop and just get settled in, and after the last few rallies we had, we just wanted to try and get a good rhythm. But no, so we've done that and we're happy enough. So we'll go out here now and see how we go.
And these stages, like they would notoriously kind of suit you. So are you excited to be here and kind of like chomping at the bit now and sort of like raring to go and just keep this momentum up essentially?
Yeah, look, I've always been a sucker for a real technical stage, so no, it seems to be suiting us okay there today so far. These next stages now, they're a bit different edges, they're probably less bumpy, more racy, so look, all we can do is just get out and drive our own rally and see where that takes us.
And how's the car feeling? Obviously it's tricky, like whenever you change the car, and then there was a few kind of different types of events and results and stuff for you, so again, the car on stages like this must feel very good now to get a proper run at it.
Yeah, and look, we're still only learning the car. Like I would say we've done 200 kilometres in the car in total, so we're still only learning what it's doing in certain places. So we're probably losing wee nips and bits of time everywhere. But as the rally progresses, hopefully we can pick the up time up again.
Good man, Desi. Well, fingers crossed we see you back in here now in the next one. and we'll get a quick chat with him then. We are heading for a break, I think, now. Bear with me, folks. We'll be back to you very shortly.
Go, go. Flat out up round easy right 150. Push on up. Go, go. Flat out up round easy right 150. Push on up.
Welcome back to service here at the Circuit of Ireland. We have Kevin Eves just over our shoulders, so we're going to make our way over to him and see what Kevin has to say for his morning's rally. He's standing up, getting a quick look at everything. Kevin, can we have a quick word with you? How's your morning going? We heard a time penalty.
Aye, well, I think we might get that scratched. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Usual story here. We've so this Owen sitting us with the Darcy's charity thing today. So it's we did actually ask the timekeeper, but sure, we'll see what happens. No, I think we might get away with that, but a wee bit of bother there. But I think we're sorted now, so I think we're still on track. So I think we'd be happy enough. Hey, we were kind of with like a fueling problem there in that last stage. We would have dropped a wee bit of time. So if we get the penalty scratch, we're only 10 or 13 off black. So I think we'll get in the groove. Owen's actually done a good job, to be truthful. I was a wee bit nervous, but no, he's actually savage. We've had no mistakes, and he's reading away the best. So happy out.
And how do you find that? Like whenever you actually change the co-driver?
Hey, it's difficult enough because I suppose I would always write my own notes as well, and then just with the sheer mileage in this rally and a one-day recce in the 4 stages, we bought notes again, and it was kind of, to tell you the truth, I had as much of a relearn just some of the way the things are presented. So, but hey, we're getting away, we're happy, we're thereabouts. So. See what happens. And
I would say there's a wee bit of enjoyment within the car today. There's a nice kind of fun atmosphere maybe.
Hi, we're actually having good crack. We have nothing really to prove or nothing, and he's laughing, he's enjoying it. At the same time, he's bought the seat, so as long as we can get around the day and have good crack, and this is local rally, so it'll be good value.
Exactly that. And I mean, to be fair, like for a brand new team, essentially, you're putting in quite good times.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I was actually surprised with that last stage there, because I felt like we'd only half throttle for about 2/3 of that stage. I felt, just with a bit of bother, so I was kind of content. It was fast and flowing right enough, so we were carrying speed, but hey, we're happy.
What about these next two? Are you excited to head into them?
Aye, they're totally different now. They're going to be a different ball game. I think they're very cresty and fast and flowing, where they're choppy and kind of everything's very open, but it'll be good crack.
Good man, Kevin. Thank you very much for chatting to us. We're going to see if we can see anybody else. John's after walking past us there, but we'll see if we can get a quick word with him. I don't know what kind of time we're on here. Can't see him. We're going to head up this way. Yes, I will just get a quick word with Jason now. Actually, we spotted him there over our shoulder. Jason, we're trying to find out what happened to you this morning.
We run out of fuel, so we did. So, we run out of fuel there in that second stage, Tony, so we probably could go out on the Rally 2, but on the first stage we had the short box and we're in the limiter every road, and there's just no point coming back out again because times are not going to... The stages are far faster than anticipated, and I sort of knew it yesterday at the recce, and I blamed the short box last weekend down in the short box down in Kerry, but I thought I'd been alright for this rally. But hey, when I went on the first stage, I felt like I took dinner on the limiter, or I had time to take dinner, on the limiter. That's how long I felt on the limiter. And when we run out of fuel there, the fuel gauge must be working right, because we went out by 47 litres. And then the next thing, we're starting on the second stage, it showed 5. And we tried to go through it, hoping that it was wrong that way. And but unfortunately, no, it was. She was clean out there, so she says. But I probably could have went out to Rally 2, but I know I'm hemorrhaging too much time in the short box. And I said, nah, I don't want to annoy myself many times.
It's just not worth it, because whenever your head kind of is going that place, anything can happen at that point.
Exactly, and what I did notice, and what I think it's killed me. Even when the car's not in the limiter, I feel like I'm going down on the 4th gear, and I'm killing her, because I think I have to go down on the 4th, whereas I don't. Do you know what I mean? So I haven't adapted to that. So no, long box will be on her from now on. I just have to work it. So
good man, Jason. Come here. We appreciate you talking to us. It's never easy now to be standing in the service area when you should be in the car and heading to the next stage. So it's good of him to take the time. We're going to make our way up. I saw Eddie Doherty there, but he actually kind of just disappeared on me again. So I'm going to actually we've John here now. Say they look like they're under a wee bit of time pressure here, folks, so I'm going to see if I can get a quick word here. We're up and down this hill like a wee jack in the box here, folks. You'll have to bear with me. I keep losing John, but I'm going to see if I can get in here now. I think I have him this time. John's car number 31. John, can we get a quick word? We'll try our best anyway. Come here, how's your morning going? It's great to get back into service after the first loop.
It definitely is. How to go? The first chicane I ran into it, the big, massive tyre hit it, and then the car was kind of crabbing the one side, so I wasn't enjoying it and couldn't push on. But I don't think the axle's bent. It turned out to be more a slow puncture. So we're back in there now and go a harder tyre and see. But I'm not enjoying it, the hard work. Different.
It can be a wee bit tricky whenever you're sitting in the car but not enjoying it, like nothing feels right. Do you think after this wee reset and service now you'll be happy as Larry and ready to go for the next two?
3 and 4 was very nice stages, so I'm going to try and push on here and see. But now I think the boys are 20 or 30 seconds ahead of me, so I can't. But I'll see if I can punch in a good time and see.
You see, that's it. It'll always be in the back of your head, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. Has to.
Good man, John. Thank you very much. We'll let John go and continue to reset. We're going to get make our way up around the corner here now, and we should have Jason Black came in there a wee while ago, and he came up this direction. So we're obviously going to be eager to get a quick word with him. But bear with us, folks. It's always the same. Our first run around service, trying to locate cars and drivers, and the car can be there but the driver can sort of be away taking a wee break somewhere, so just bear with us. We figure it out now and hopefully get a quick word with some of the other guys. As I say, Jason Black is kind of the guy that we're aiming to see here, but we're just gonna keep moving. As you can see, there's plenty of action in the service area here, a very good service area, well laid out and quite compact at the same time. You know, everybody's quite close together, so great in terms of spectators and people that kind of just want to be in and around in the middle of the action. So absolutely the place to be if you want to see the cars up close. Let's see now. Jason, you're on the Christmas Cups. Are you happy enough with your Easter morning?
I am, yeah. Bit of problem there before the first stage. Thankfully, electrical problem and running a wee bit out of order here now, run back. But thankfully the 2 stages it went well and having a good run.
Delighted with your times?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely good to be up there.
Do you find that tricky whenever you're running out of order, or does it affect you at all?
Not really, no. So same. At least you're with a minute gaps here. At least you're no chance of catching anyone. So you're all good. Thanks.
The stages are short enough as well for that, like, so you really can trust the minute here.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's good that way for sure.
How's the car feeling? What are the stages like for you and the car? Any particular favourites?
I don't know. I think these 2 we're going out to now will be the better of the 4 stages. A lot of bumps and hidden bumps on them 2 there. So it is very, very difficult, but good. All going well.
And tyre-wise, are you finding it easy, or with the temperatures, do you find it tricky to kind of make the choice?
No, fairly good. Only for the dustiness and some of the quarries and stuff on them stages, it's making it slippy. But as for the weather, like, you couldn't beat that.
Brilliant. We're going to let you go, Jason. We're going to let you keep going and getting through your service and getting reset. As we were talking about there, the services are quite short on this event. There's a good few services, but the time for service isn't there, so there's no kind of messing around. We're going to go back in actually and get a quick word with Jason's brother Gareth, and we'll just see how his morning's going. Jason's car number 39 on the road, and they're just sort of taking a wee second to get the car set up for the service here, so we'll just get in as quick as we can, but we don't want to get in anybody's way, so you'll have to bear with us if you can. How's your morning going so far,
Yeah,
Gareth? Happy to
enough.
get into service?
Yeah, happy. First ones are very tricky, very bumpy and choppy, but happy to get in now. I'm going to have to change a few changes of suspension and go back out again, hopefully. These next 2 are a lot smoother, so they'll be nicer to drive, but happy enough, happy with the pace.
I mean, the pace this morning out there is absolutely incredible already.
Yeah, it's always this year now, everyone's kind of seemed to step it up a notch, and you have to be on it from the first stage to be anywhere near it.
And it's the first like sort of dry, consecutively dry weather, and everybody is just, there's been this is the 3rd event of the year, and everybody's well bedded now, like, so everything's feeling good out there.
Yeah, everyone, the bit of dry weather now, the pace goes that wee bit more again, and I myself now, I would much prefer a dry rally than wet. I wouldn't be a big fan of the wet now, but sure, I'll just take them how they come.
These cars would be very hard to handle in the wet.
They wouldn't be that easy.
Definitely more work.
Yeah, definitely. You're right.
Come here, we're going to let you set into service here, but thanks very much for talking to us, and we'll see you around the next one.
Yep,
Thank you very much, Gareth. So again, we're going to make our way over this direction and see who we can see. We'll see who we can see. We've got a couple of cars here beside us, or a couple of the lorries here beside us, but as I say, sometimes we have cars and no drivers, so you'll have to bear with us, folks. We've a few sitting here, so just bear with us and we'll get quick words if we can. How's everything going for you this morning?
It's going good. Happy enough.
Are you happy?
No, I can't complain. Just need to keep it, I guess, for the next couple of stages. So
it's hard work whenever you're kind of setting into 4 very different technical stages in the morning, isn't it?
yeah, them first 2 are very technical. Don't really think much. It's just bumpy and jumpy. So happy to settle in them 2. That's kind of nerves go on. These next 2, stage 3 will be pretty good. I like it. So get a bit of a push on there and see how we're going. So happy.
Good. And is the car feeling good? Tyres and everything?
Tyres are class. Car's good. Just need a wee bit more of me. So a bit of work you do yet.
And is that just a case of it's very much can be just take a wee minute to get set into a rally, when the nerves are there?
Yeah, well, I was very nervous this morning, so just getting the nerves out of the road, especially them 2 stages this morning, I think made the nerves a bit more. So nerves are gone now, so regroup now and knuckle down. So happy.
Good man, thank you very much. That's the way to do it at times, isn't it? You just have to know that the nerves are going to be there and kind of settle yourself into it, and then away you go. And it's just, look, it's the Circuit of Ireland at the end of the day. This is a major one for people, and everybody wants to do well at this rally. And then the fact that the stages are so tricky and nobody's seen them in so many years, everybody's just kind of that wee bit more on edge, which is very exciting, but hard work for the drivers and co-drivers. Camillus, how's your morning going so far?
Going okay, but a good enough first stage. Second stage there, bloody throttle is messed about and we can't do anything with it. We can't really find anything wrong with it now. We've done a part of the stage where the throttle just stuck on and maybe at 3,000 or 4,000 revs, and then the throttle wouldn't go down, but then at the finish I just took an ignorance and I pushed really hard and it went down and then it stuck full open. So that was leaving me, and then it was working okay, but I was still scared and it's going to be the same now, but I just said we'll go out now. If it sticks anywhere I'll just stop, I'll quit. But no, other than that, if the throttle would keep going now, I'm hoping, I nearly know what it is inside the mechanism is a wee spring and I would think it's broken, but as long as it's gone out of the way it'll not cause any more trouble. But other than that, enjoying the first stage, really good. Looking forward to doing more.
Brilliant, Camillus. I mean, there's nothing worse really than a throttle sticking, like.
Oh Jesus, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, even when I come back on there, it was sort of working okay. Like I just had no heart. It was just your heart's in your mouth. The car is totally different. It doesn't matter if you go into the corner and you have to clutch it. Like it's not controllable. Like it's very different. You need the gears, you need the throttle off and on to be fit to steer right. So anyway, hopefully, fingers crossed that it'll not stick anymore.
Good man, Camillus. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. And obviously, we've got the experience of Crawford Henderson here beside us. Crawford.
The old age pensioner.
Not a bit. I was torturing you this morning. I was interrupting every conversation you were in. But how are you feeling this morning? It's obviously great to be back out on the Circuit of Ireland.
We haven't been back out. We haven't been out since the Ulster Rally, and you just become so rusty. It's unbelievable. And Marty Toner and these guys are just, Jason Black are just out. Not every weekend, but they're match fit, and credit to them. Yeah. But we'll catch up at the end of the day, hopefully.
And what's it like from your point of view, sitting on the other side whenever the throttle's stuck? I mean, obviously for the driver it's stand clear, but I would imagine that it's fairly scary for you too.
For him, it's fear. For me, it's disappointment. Yeah. It's never happened before, and just so disappointing because he just was so looking forward to this, and that it's just one of those things that happens, and it happens to everybody, and there's nothing you can do.
Any of these stages in particular you're enjoying, Crawford, or looking forward to?
Yes, the one in Pomeroy. I think it's called Shamrocky or something. I'm not sure.
Shanamahary or something.
Shanamahary. I like it.
Yes.
I like it. There's a lovely section in the middle of it. It's fantastic. Brilliant. So I'm looking forward to it now.
Brilliant. Good man, Crawford. Thank you very much for talking to us. Guys, there you have it. We've as much information as we can for you outside service here. We're going to try and round up a few more and get ready for the next loop around, but I think we're heading back to the stages for you now. So that'll be us for now for this time, and we'll see you back here at the service area for the Circuit of Ireland 2023.
Go, go. Flat out up round the easy right 150. Push on up. Go, go. Flat out up round the easy right 150. Push on up.
And you're very welcome back. Thank you very much, Tony Kelly, for popping into service and bringing us up to speed on the drivers' opinions and ideas after the opening 2 stages of the Milburn Concrete 2023 Circuit of Ireland Rally. Stages based in and around Cookstown. So weather has remained dry, and we head for stages 3 and 4 now in this second part of the loop, if you like. And Michael, you were telling people who were with us earlier this morning, but for those who are only just joining us, it's really 4 different stages, and we heard that echoed by the drivers in service about the different characteristics now of stage 3 and stage 4. And you were talking to somebody last night at World Championship level who was reiterating to you that even in a World Rally car, unbelievably difficult over bumps in certain parts of the stages here that we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, it's this constant now. The irony is, here we are at location 1 on stage 3. Now this is the one stage that isn't bumpy, but because everything is a compromise over the 4 stages with only a 20-minute service, you have, like as Gary Jennings said earlier on this morning and before the start, he raised his car by 30 mil. So the guys, talking to people last night after they'd done the recce and bits and pieces, they just couldn't believe just how bumpy it is. And yet there's places it's really, really smooth. Now, all the drivers have come in. We heard Marion Evans say he was actually off the road on some of the bumps. He got caught out and very, very lucky to get away with it. Yeah. But the weather is being kind to us. I've got a great message from Tim Hoare. Tim is the motorsports manager at Michelin. And he said, the weather is very kind to us today after a really unpredictable weekend in West Cork. M20 Michelin is the medium tyre, and that's the choice for the Michelin runners. I understand that Moynihan's have advised the Pirelli runners on much the same strategy. It's a pretty simple choice. There's nothing complicated about the tyres today. It's all about the suspension today. And it's all about this stage that they're about to go into. This is a lovely driving stage. Absolutely everything. We're over, as we saw the graphic there, we're now to the east of Cookstown. We're just on the western shore of Lough Neagh. If literally there's the tracking and the guys in the studio giving you a really good idea of the location and the spread of the rally today. That's a great facility, guys. Well done. And you can see in the far west, we really are into the Sperrins. This stage, quite smooth, a couple of jumps, but nothing too bad. Dips, junctions, fast flowing corners compared to the next stage. I think Crawford Henderson Shamagri, I believe it's called. And I've probably not said that right, Sav, and I'm sure people will come in and correct us on social media. I'm being said Shanmakari, apparently, yes. Come here, and which is an extremely difficult stage, which means the really good drivers will just excel in it. And I think this could have we could have a change in the rally here just because of the pure change in terrain and nature and the whole driving style of the stages. And that's a fantastic shot, Sav. We can see the cars all lined up at the start of the stage. Now, they're not actually due to start until, is it 29?
Yeah, 11.
So yes, I think we're pretty much, I can see the start marshal has taken away the little, sometimes they use a board or a stick so it's fair for everybody. You put the car up against the stick and everyone starts from exactly the same place. You could actually see when we were zoomed in, the timing equipment at the start of the stage. You can see the beam there to the side of the car, and I'm not quite sure if we're on rally time, but its doors are closed, and I would say we are about to witness our first standing start, and these things go from 0 to 60 in, what is it, something like 2 seconds?
2.8 seconds,
yeah,
isn't it?
Something like that.
It's going to be interesting to see. I think sorry to cut you, Michael. Just to be interesting to see Josh over the next 2 stages, because he seems to be the person at the moment that
There he goes.
dial a bit of excess out of the car and then return to a happy medium, if you like. But that's Josh Moffat underway.
Cold
on
tyres down into the
stage 3.
first junction.
So again, if you weren't with us earlier, 1 minute intervals on the event today. Josh away in there. First in Circuit of Kerry last weekend, of course, won West Cork and was third on the Midland Moto stages. You can just see Marion Evans and Jonathan Jackson. Marion from Lampeter and Jonathan from Stratford. And third in West Cork, also did race retro, Marion, and also won the opening round this year in Galway.
What we can't see, the days of the start marshal actually having a flag and flagging them away, well, it's all done by clock now. So the drivers see the clock, counts them down, and off they go. Bit of a compromise, something like this situation. The guys have been sitting here for 4 or 5 minutes. Tyres have got a wee bit cold, and I think it's becoming more and more of an issue with these R5 cars. It's one of the few negatives seems to be about the temperatures. Talking to a few people after West Cork, where there was a few delays and the cars get cold, they just don't work very well unless everything's up to temperature.
Yeah, and even at that, you have to be on top of all components and wringing the neck out of it to get the most out of it. On the start line, Callum Devine and Noel O'Sullivan, Derry Killarney pairing. It's an ex-Minty Motorsport car from South Africa, driven previously by Joey Goes. Of course, Minty Motorsport, quite a large rally organisation in South Africa. I was saying earlier that Callum has got himself dialed into this car now very well since it appeared in his hands in the Circuit of Ireland last year. Second in the Circuit of Kerry, fourth in West Cork, won the Midland Moto and was fifth in Galway. On the line is Cardiff's Johnny Greer and Sligo's Niall Burns. New car to Johnny this year. Won the Killarney Historic last year, just pipping Craig Breen, who had, if I remember, serves me rightly, drive shaft issue in the Frank Maher Sierra. Of course, excitement levels were through the roof when Craig appeared with that. One of the most likeable things about Craig, he is just really a rally nerd. He's wonderful, you know, the knowledge and history of the sport. But Johnny Greer and Niall Byrne into the stage 3, the Hollow, just a shade in or about 8 miles. And as Michael was saying, they'll head to stage 4, Shanamagri. It's due off at about 11 minutes past 12. So should give us time to see the top 40, 45 cars through here. Start line now sees Sam Moffat and Keith Moriarty. Brand new car for Sam this year. It was third overall on Galway and fifth overall on the Midland Moto stages, and dropped back a bit on West Cork and finished sixth overall.